his hips are facing 180 out from his shoulders. So see, his hips are facing that way, his shoulders are facing this way. And that is because of the way that the spines are set up differently on a two-fingered sloth than they are on a three-fingered sloth. So eventually you may turn back around here. But and this is his breakfast. You guys are going to feed him basically all of that. A two-fingered sloth has 5 vertebrae in the cervical spine. Three-fingered sloth, which this is not, has 9. A three-fingered sloth has 3 vertebrae of a tail. This two-fingered sloth has no tail. So the 3 missing from the tail and the 4 missing from the neck are all between the hips and shoulders of a two-fingered sloth. So the three-fingered with a big long neck turns his head 270 around like an owl like this. The two-fingered rotates till hips and shoulders can be 180 out from each other. And beyond that, the three-fingered has a flatter face with what looks like a mask over his eyes, and the two-fingered has more like a dog-shaped face. They all have great big teeth. They all have great big claws. If you were a scientist and you found the skeleton of one of these in the rainforest, you would absolutely be saying top of the food chain. Based on the huge teeth and the huge claws, you would not be saying slow, peaceful creature that is going to hide in the trees all of his life until eventually something catches and eats him. If you look at it from a skeleton picture standpoint, it makes more sense what I'm saying. So if you just Google search sloth skeleton.
Not that one. Yeah. Here.
This is the skeleton of a two-fingered sloth, which this guy is. Bunch of check marks right now. Must be my Wi-Fi slow. Alright, so this guy is a two-fingered sloth. You see he has a short neck, he has no tail, and he has a whole lot of vertebrae between hips and shoulders. His arms are longer than his whole body. His legs are longer than his arms. He's got 46 ribs, 23 sets of ribs. So this one is built like a truck. A three-fingered sloth is built more like a sports car. The three-fingered sloth, see, has 9 vertebrae in the cervical spine between the head and shoulders. That's where he turns the head 270 around. He has 3 vertebrae of a tail. So see how many fewer vertebrae he's got between hips and shoulders and how many fewer ribs he's got. Also, he has big long arms, but he has little stubby legs.
Right.
So they're very different animals, but I mean, beyond the way their skeletons are set up, they're very, very similar animals. So they are all slow, they're all peaceful, they all occupy a spot in the food chain where they are eating the food that nothing else wants, which is the leaves at the ends of the trees. There's no other mammal that eats the leaves out at the ends of the trees. So they're eating what's left over in the rainforest. Everyone knows that sloths are slow, but sloths are slow in ways that it may not have occurred to you that a sloth even could be slow. So they're slow not only in their movement, they're slow in their digestion, metabolism, metabolic processes, growth, development, every way that they can be slow. It starts from their diet. Their diet is approximately 90% leaves in the wild. Here they eat about 75% leaf material, and they eat a tremendous amount of it. So these sloths, the sloths will eat about 10% of their body weight every single day, but it's almost all leaves. Leaves are very low in nutrition, very low in caloric content. So the sloth is going to, he's going to be plowing through that much food, 10% of his body weight every day, and yet go to the bathroom only once in a week to 10 days. 3 or 4 times a month is all that they go to the bathroom. When he does go to the bathroom, he is going to eliminate 1/3 of his total body mass when he goes. So putting that to human perspective, I weigh around 180. So if I was gonna eat like a sloth, I would start from my natural body weight of 180, and I would eat and eat and eat and eat and eat and eat, and then I would eat, then I'd eat some more, and then I'd eat until I got to about 240, and then boom, all the way back to 180 in about 2 or 3 minutes. 1/3 of my total body mass in 2 or 3 minutes. So this guy weighs 15 pounds. That means that he is eating about 1.5 pounds of food every day. And when he does eventually go to the bathroom, it is between solid and liquid, it's going to be about 5 pounds all at once.
Wow.
The sloth's food is very, very low in nutrition and caloric content, so it is working on an extremely limited energy budget. When the sloth is eating his food in the rainforest, he gets so little energy from it that he cannot even maintain his body temperature. So technically he is a warm-blooded animal, but his core body temperature will be whatever the outside air temperature is. He just tracks the air temperature. So in the rainforest, daytime high is in the mid to upper 80s, nighttime low is in the high 60s, and his core body temperature is going to follow that range of temperatures every day. So his nighttime core body temperature can be as much as 19 degrees Fahrenheit less than his daytime core body temperature is. That means that he is impossible for a snake to find, actually. Snakes are by the sloth's body temperature is whatever his surroundings are, and he has no natural smell. Sloth has no sweat glands, no musk glands, no scent glands, nothing of that. So if you smell a sloth, he doesn't smell anything at all. And so a snake cannot find a sloth. He has no temperature, he has no smell. Now, so that he's not just a blot of smell in the rainforest, the being all covered in moss and algae when he's in the rainforest makes him smell like the rest of the rainforest. So literally a snake cannot find him. If a snake finds a sloth, it is pure dumb coincidence.
Yeah.
A cat cannot get to a sloth because the sloth is upside down on the branch, right? And I told you at the start that his vision is horrible. More specifically, he has a structure to his eyes called rod monochromacy, which means all rod cells, no cone cells. So he has excellent motion detection, but very little perception of exact objects. He can't see the difference between me and any of the three of you.
Really?
He knows exactly what I smell like and he knows exactly what I sound like, but he cannot see the difference between me and any of you.
Okay.
So if you've ever seen a movie where the military guys are running around with the night vision goggles on, and you see their POV that it's a bunch of moving blobs, that's what the sloth sees.
Okay.
So he sees motion very, very well, but he sees objects as far as what it is poorly.
No detail.
But if you're a sloth, all you need to know is something's
He's a
coming
bad
at you.
one, though.
Anything coming at a sloth is bad news for a sloth, so the sloth is going to end the branch, get to the end of the branch, and then under his weight, he gets all the way to the end, it's going to on down there. So that's the cat is coming at him along the top of the branch like this, and he gets to the end, and what's he going to do, right? So, and if the cat was to press the issue to the point that the branch would break and the whole mess fall 100 feet all the way to the floor of the rainforest, this sloth is almost certainly going to survive a 100-foot drop, and the cat will almost certainly not. And the sloth is going to look over at the cat and he's going to say, ha, ha, and back up the tree he goes. So,
Hey, I got him to eat.
Do they have-
You're fine, then.
No,
Stuck it in there.
Filled on any purpose, that they do.
In the
so
right-
everything in the food chain occupies a spot in the food chain,
Yeah,
and the spot that he occupies is to use up the leaves.
okay.
So the leaves are, nothing else could get enough nutrition out of leaves to survive. So he is eating the leaves, the leftover last out of the rainforest,
Okay.
and then he recycles that back
Is anyone
into.
available to bring camel feed down to the exotic barn?
He recycles that back into fertilizer for the forest.
Okay.
That's
And
good.
but so also on just raw energy level,
Need it right now? Okay.
But it does seem like he would be, his predators since he's so slow, that he would be a target, but you're telling me he
Very
really
much
is pretty
so.
crafty though?
Very much a target, but well designed for his environment. The one animal that can get to him in the top of the rainforest is an eagle, because the eagle doesn't rely on the branch to support its weight. It doesn't rely on smell to hunt.
Right now for feeding or just feeding right
Don't
now
they spend
today?
like most of their life upside down?
Yes,
The
for
majority of it.
Like there's
So the one animal that can get to it in the top of the
So,
trees
yes,
is
right.
an eagle.
now.
But,
if we're gonna feed the animals. Yes.
The sloth, even though he's entirely safe in the top of the tree, yet he comes all the way down the tree, same side of the tree, goes to the bathroom in the same place that he always goes to the bathroom. And that begs the question, why? Because when he comes all the way down, he's at risk to every
Yeah.
predator,
You
right?
can just like do it at the top, and let it fall down.
Yeah, right? So scientists sometimes come up with some pretty stupid ideas. Sometimes they zero on the right ones, sometimes
I
not.
have all the guys that's feeding right
Can
now.
I
Are you
pet
able to
him?
put
Yeah,
them in?
absolutely.
He seems to not be a big fan of the sweet potato.
Yeah,
That's how hungry
Yes,
he
I'll
is
grab it.
I got
on
him.
any given day.
Yeah.
Their skin's so like coarse. Their hair's soft, but their skin's like hard. and
Hey
coarse.
Fallon, my
Kinda feels
Jeep,
like
I think is
a
sitting
pig
outside if you wanna drive
outside.
that. I think so. So the first idea on why the sloth comes all the way down the tree to go to the bathroom was that he's just a neat animal. Obviously that idea makes no sense. He's not the Adrian Monk of the rainforest. He's not going to risk his life just because he's a neat animal. Then the second idea was he's fertilizing his own tree via his waste. Again, nonsense idea. If he drops it from anywhere in the canopy of the rainforest, it's going to fall above the root system, so no effect, right? So the actual reason why he comes all the way down the tree, same side of the tree, is the sloth-moth symbiotic relationship. So in the wild, not here, praise the Lord, in the wild, sloths need moths and moths need sloths. A sloth in the rainforest has between 100 and 150 moths and beetles living in his fur all of the time. Symbiotic, meaning beneficial to both sides of the equation. Parasitic would mean beneficial to one, neutral or harmful to the other. So for the sloth, the benefit is that the moths are fertilizing, well, starting from the moth, there is a type of moth called a sloth moth that lives nowhere in the world except in the fur and in the waste pile of a sloth. So the benefit to the moth is that the sloth is the food source and the living environment of the moths. Specifically, the moths are eating the moss and algae that grow all in the sloth's fur, and they are then fertilizing that moss and algae via their waste. The only reasons that the moth will leave the sloth in its life is to drink water that pools up in the tops of the leaves up in the rainforest. Sloth drinks almost no water. And second, to get into the waste pile to lay their eggs. The benefit to the sloth is that the sloth benefits, one, from the camouflage of the increased level of moss and algae from the moths fertilizing that moss and algae. Second, as the sloth grooms himself, which that is how he grooms himself, that sloth never gets a bath. As the sloth grooms himself, he licks up a certain amount of the moths themselves, and that is his protein source. Third, as the sloth grooms himself, and most importantly, he licks up a certain amount of the waste of the moths. The waste of the moths is where the sloth gets the bacteria that digests his food. So now we also have helpful gut bacteria. We are not as reliant on our gut bacteria as a sloth is. It's a proven fact that if a sloth's moth colony ceases to exist, the sloth will perish of starvation about 30 days later, not for lack of food, but for lack of ability to digest the food. Now, we also have helpful gut bacteria. Our gut bacteria will last throughout our lives without a second thought, unless we take a long course of antibiotics. If we take a lot of antibiotics, we need probiotics, or we need good Greek yogurt to fix our gut health back up. He doesn't know where Publix is, he's never heard of GNC. he's not getting any probiotics, he's not getting any Greek yogurt. So how he replaces his gut bacteria, should he need to, is the waste of the moths. In captivity, he does not need the moths. That is because in captivity, he is not being hunted by anything, so he doesn't require the camouflage. In captivity, we feed him 2 hard-boiled eggs a week. That replaces the protein he would get from the moths themselves. And he never needs to replace his gut bacteria. For us, what would interrupt our gut bacteria colony is antibiotics. For him, it's cold temperature. If the sloth gets cold, it will mess up his gut bacteria, and that's when he would need replacement gut bacteria. And here, we never ever let a sloth get cold. Get him to hang down one more time for you. I don't think you guys got to take your good pictures yet. So give him this, and you can stand approximately this close to the sloth to take your pictures. You can stand on both sides if you want to. Offer him this egg, and he's going to keep hanging down right between you. And I will do the picture of both of you.
There we go.
All right.
Hey, bud.
Oh, it might be over.
No, you're good. Just offer him the egg, and actually let him have it. Just let him come back down for it, and you'll get a better picture.
Smell.
Hey, Flash.
He's like, no.
Hey, Bubba. Come here. Good boy. Come here, Flash. Good baby.
Teeth are kind of like little cats.
Do they ever get excited over anything?
Yes. When you see the next one here in a few minutes, she is a playful sloth, actually. Now let me wait for him to get his hand out of his face.
So cute. Oh, I just want to kiss him.
Snack their time eating, don't
I know it's funny.
He's messing up the pictures with his hand in his face.
It's alright.
Come on, Flash. See, looking at his feet, he can hang in that bar for days and days. The reason for that is if any of us were trying to do a 2-arm hang, this is our stress exertion state, this is our relaxed state. He's the opposite. Because his tendons are really tight through his hand and his forearm, that is relaxed. Clamped down like that is relaxed. This is exertion. So when he's hanging in that branch, he's exerting no energy at all.
Yeah.
In fact, if his life ended while hanging in the branch, he would not necessarily fall out of the tree.
Decompose there.
Yep.
You're
Looks like
welcome
he's
to
kissing
take a
your head.
view.
There you go. Oh, I've taken about 1,000.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
You can delete while you drive. I don't have my reading glasses on. I can't see what's a good picture and what's not. And, so you can.
Oh, sweet boy.
Make sure something there is good.
Thank you. So cute. He's so cute. His face. Oh my god.
Softer than he looks too, right?
they? Yeah.
So I say we never bathe him. Actually, see that hose right there? The hose
Oh,
connection?
okay, yeah.
That goes up to his rainforest system up there in the top. And when he wants to take a bath, he just goes over into the jets. And then in the summertime, you know, he goes in the outside too. And if it's raining outside, he consistently, if it's warm, we only open that door if it's more than 70 degrees outside. So if it's warm, he goes outside in the rain and he loves it. And but we don't give him a bath at all.
You have
Anything
to
there
keep
turn
it
out?
like, yes, it's great.
Yeah, it stays at least 78 degrees in here all of the time, and 50% relative humidity all of the time. So that's why we have hooks for coats.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty warm in here,
Yeah.
always. The babies live in my house, and so it's pretty
Aw,
doggone warm in
you
my
gotta
house
keep
too.
it warm.
Yeah.
How big are their babies?
So we don't get them until their mother has weaned them, so they come here when they're around 5 months-ish, just whenever mom weans them. There's no rush on the mother. Whenever mom weans them, they come here, that's usually around 5 months, and they weigh about between 1.25 and 1.5 pounds. So that's like 10% of his mass. And the one that you're gonna see next is 16 months old, and she currently weighs as much as he does. But if you look at his claws and then you look at hers, his are mature adult claws, hers are still little baby claws. And if you look at his teeth, if you will open his mouth here, his teeth are massive.
Yeah.
And her teeth are much, much smaller than that.
Yeah.
Sloths have no enamel on their teeth, so their teeth, as their mouth opens and closes, their teeth sharpen against their own teeth.
I'm going around
And
the other ponies right now. I just see if they need that.
Is that how their jaws work too? They don't necessarily.
yeah, it goes down both sides, yep. Yep, so they don't open and close the same way your teeth.
Do they shed a lot?
They don't shed at all. So
That's awesome.
growing new hair is an expenditure of energy, and they have nothing extra in their energy budget. So for instance, they only make milk for their babies for 3 to 6 weeks, that's it. And most mammals produce, store, actually I think all mammals except for them, produce, store, deliver milk for their young. They produce and deliver. They don't have a store in the middle, so the baby nurses and the mom generates milk drop by drop as the baby eats it. So if you read Google or Wikipedia or Sloth Conservancy, they say 3 to 6 weeks. San Diego Zoo has a little bit more extensive of a study, and they say it's gender dependent, and a male baby sloth will eat milk for 15 days and a female for 27 days. But any way you slice it, it's a really short time.
Yeah.
And the sloth gets its initial bacteria colony from its mother, so the mother will chew the food. She doesn't swallow and regurgitate. Sloth has no way to regurgitate, but it chews the food in its mouth, and the bacteria in its mouth gets all over the food, and that's where the baby gets its initial bacteria colony from. You said something earlier about how they're upside down so much. So there are a number of design contributions to a sloth being upside down all the time. First, the tight tendons make it so that his clamp down is relaxed, so he's not expending any energy to hang there. Second, with the 46 ribs, 23 sets of ribs, for us, our guts are just sitting in our pelvis, upper bounded by our diaphragm. So like if we were on an inversion table for a long, long time, our blood would rush to our head, we'd get short of breath and back pressure on our diaphragm. He has all this connective tissue that goes all back and forth between all of those ribs and all of his organs. So whether he's horizontally upside down like this, or vertically upside down like that, or whether he's hanging right side up in a tree like this, or if he sleeps in a hammock up there, whether he's laying on his back, on his belly, on his side, which he does all three, no matter what his body position is, his organs remain in the position and orientation that they should, because there's all this connective tissue that holds all this stuff together. I personally think that probably that's a big part of what helps him in the long falls, is that his stuff doesn't just all, when he comes down, because it's all held in there. And it has to have a certain amount of flex, because his stomach, after he goes to the bathroom, it's like this, and then over time, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger until he clump again. So like when the next one, she went to the bathroom yesterday, so you're gonna see that she is like cylinder shaped right now. If you're watching TikTok over time, you'd see that over the day she goes until she looks like a little fat Buddha, and then boom, all the way back to her girlish figure again. And and then they're, when they're on the bottom of the branch and they're getting away, that's what they're on the bottom, the cat's on the top, and if you're hanging on it, you don't have to hang on so hard, way down there. Cat can't follow them, even if it breaks the branch, it's okay for the sloth, not for the cat. Is it 10:30?
10:30 is here. It's just scheduled for 1, but she has another person with her, and she wanted to add her, so I didn't know if you want me to start with the 10:30 with them with Zoe, and you figure that process
Yeah,
out.
no problem.
Okay.
All right, you guys are gonna see the next sloth now. So you guys are gonna see Zoe. What's the temperature outside? There's 3 of them. You might want to go to the pavilion.
Yeah, that'd be good.
What's it? Is it more? It's more
like
than 70, isn't it?
Well, it's 70 and 3,000% humidity.
Yeah, it's super.
That's 74. Yeah. Why don't you go ahead to the pavilion since there's 3,
Mhm.
and just give him just a minute to get her picked up and
I'm
set
gonna
up
set
out
this
there.
outside.
And we're gonna let you guys go outside because it's gonna be pretty crowded with 4 in there. And Zoe is the one you're gonna pet and hold in your lap.
I am gonna let one of you guys be responsible
Okay.
for this. Who wants to hold the food?
Yeah.
She has not munched down that much yet this morning, and she just used the restroom, so she will be eager for more munchies.
So while you're holding the sloth, she's gonna want to hang around your neck like this. If you support her underneath like this, she won't hold on with these near so hard. They're sharp. If she does hold on to you more than you're comfortable with, just tap her foot like this, and she will immediately release. Just tap, tap. Just remind her, hey, this is my shoulder here, not a branch. And even when she lays upside down in your belly like this, which she very likely will, she does not want you to touch the belly side of her. If you go touching her belly side, she'll be like, ah, leave me alone. So even though it looks like she's like, oh, scratch my belly, she's not. She absolutely doesn't want to be touched on the belly.
It's like a cat. No
All right, so follow Kim.
Thank you.
Flash, you've been a real gentleman.
And John, they're right out here in the green chairs.
All right, great.
Ladies, he'll be out here in just a second, okay?
What do I need to do on the next group? I guess they did not find a receipt. Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm in encounters and just picked up the phone call. Thank you. Bye. Actually, one of those is a soft chair. Let me get a hard chair. You can get up out of that soft chair.
Probably not, you know it's already.
Oh yeah, the baseball chairs.
Yeah, we don't need no baseball chair, right?
It's like he's known us our whole life, you know. Even when we had
I have been there, actually. After I had chemotherapy, I had to learn to walk again.
yeah.
I had peripheral neuropathy, so I couldn't feel from here on down for like 15 years.
Oh, wow.
And I would explain to people sometimes that could see me walk and say, you must be able to feel your feet because you're walking. And like if I was double amputee, I could still walk.
Right.
And they'll be like, yeah, but you can tell when your foot hits the ground. I'm like, right. I'm like, and if you took I used to say take a hammer, but like this coffee cup, if you put that down, you can tell when it reaches because it travels up your arm. Doesn't mean you can feel the
That's
coffee cup, right?
That's
Yeah.
right.
And so, yeah, been there, y'all, been there.
Yeah, she just had,
Good news is the Lord is still in the healing business.
You know what? Look,
And
she She is. She should. She tried to die on me several times.
Yeah, how'd you try to do that?
Well, I burned my foot.
Which we're on live. If you don't want to tell, don't.
Hold
But
on.
Whoa.
yeah, okay.
Oh, those things are bending.
It doesn't bother me that you do or that you don't. I just don't want you to share more information than you want to share. With
I don't
people you
mind sharing,
know.
but maybe not everybody wants to hear about me in the hospital.
Between the two of us, we've died how many times?
I've died 3.
I've died once.
Ooh, Lazarus and Lazarus 2 we
That's
got
it.
here. All right, so it might be a little hard to reach from the seated position,
okay.
but he will hang down towards you.
Okay.
So basic rules of the game, this is food, this is not food. He cannot see the difference between the two. So if you
That's
you
why
put
the
this in
sign
his
says-
mouth, you don't put this in his mouth.
Okay.
Don't put this in his mouth, don't put it in my mouth. Either one of us might bite you if you stick your finger in our mouth, go figure. But he's not at all looking to bite you. Just don't put your finger inside of his mouth. Good boy, Flash. He's like, oh, I thought we were done. Is there more food?
No, I heard you say he didn't feel good.
No, he feels fine.
Okay.
His bacteria colony was a little off this morning.
Okay.
His poop was loose. So we were doing some things to address that. Which I also won't talk about that on a live because it's disgusting. But if you're a nurse, you probably have heard of fecal fauna transportation.
Yes.
So that's the key to it with a sloth.
Okay.
Go from a healthy sloth to an unhealthy sloth. And
Transfer.
yep, so that is how you fix a sloth.
Just like
Hey,
see
baby
the-
boy.
Yes, they thought I was making that up when I was telling them that's how you.
That's how you do it a lot of times.
You know what? If you guys could give me just a minute, given that you are both seated, I'm gonna go get a seated sloth. How about that?
Oh, okay.
I'll be right back.
All right.
See this sloth.
You just hang
Then
there and
we'll
watch.
just be hanging him out.
Yeah, he's
See
likely
my
to come down and see you.
Let's see what that.
Hey, will you talk with them just for a minute? I mean, Dash.
I gotcha.
Just hang with them. I'll be right back.
So how long have you been here?
A little over 4 months.
Wow. Oh, wow.
You absolutely have to love it, right?
I do. I really enjoy it. Yeah. It's a
I
lot of
mean,
fun.
you get to walk around with the baby swan and.
I know. Yeah, he's something else. We named him Hans because I looked up the story. You know, the ugly duckling. Well, the ugly duckling doesn't have a name in that story. So I was like, oh. And then I was like, well, what's the name of the author? And it was Hans Christian or something. And I was like, well, Hans.
There you go.
So we have Hans the Swan.
Oh my gosh.
Now how old is?
I want to say about a week and a half.
Okay.
He was hatched here with our 2 breeding pair of mute swans. And there was 3 eggs originally. He's, as far as we know, he's the only one that hatched. And then an egg went missing, and then there's 1 egg that they kicked out of the nest. So last year we had hawks swooping down and getting all the goslings and all that. So we're like, if we want this little guy to survive, we have to snatch him because
Well,
the parents would be good against protecting against ground predators because they could just get in the pond.
Right.
But hawks are another story. They'll just swoop
Yeah.
down. They never even see them
They-
coming
yeah.
and gone.
Wow.
yes.
Yeah. So.
My parents have turkeys,
Mhm.
and my dad was like, "We want to try to hatch some this year."
Yeah.
So when they started the laying, they like hide in bushes and like
Yeah.
Well, we're currently living with my parents' house because of this,
Mhm.
and I have a little miniature schnauzer, and she is obsessed with the balls.
Oh, so she thinks the eggs.
2 times.
Oh no.
She didn't break them,
Yeah.
but she
Well, that's
went and
good.
got them because they're speckled,
Yeah.
and they're a little bigger than a chicken egg.
Mhm.
And she'd bring them back in her mouth.
Yeah.
Never broke one, but
But look what I found.
she was so proud too.
Mhm. No.
So
Yeah, it's definitely baby season around
Yes,
here.
it
we
is.
just hatched
Babies.
3 last week.
Yeah. Aw. We have. Did you guys see Thomas, our turkey?
The one that
Oh yeah, he's
friendly
been
went
hanging
there.
out with us.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, he's the best.
He went to the cows with us, and he came back over here
Yeah.
with us. And when we were first coming into the farm, there was a peacock that refused to move out of the middle of the road.
Yeah. They're obnoxious.
He's like, I live here, y'all don't.
Do you see
Get
this
out the
food
way.
in this road?
That's
I'm
right.
gonna say right here. So they like warm environments?
Oh, very
Yeah.
warm, yeah. So they're gonna be anywhere, their temperature needs to be kept anywhere from 78 to 85 degrees.
Uh-huh.
And that's gonna be where they're comfortable and also what keeps them healthy,
Yeah.
because their gut bacteria depends on that environment. And if it's not kept at the correct temperature, then their digestive system actually can shut down.
Mm.
So temperature is very important.
I follow a sloth on Phalo. Where you get the bracelets and all.
Okay.
I have a sloth. I follow a turtle. I follow a dolphin. I got them all for Christmas presents. But the sloth, and it was like random. But Jess found the sloth one after Christmas and bought it for me.
Yes, one of my coworkers got Chelsea, her 3 kids,
Oh yeah,
and they,
on Phalo.
Mhm.
Yeah. Let's see. Where's all my animals?
so does he always stay out here, or does he go back?
Oh
to
yeah,
the
no, he just comes out here for encounters, and then
Okay.
so this is just kind of his little hangout area.
How do
And
you
then
like being famous?
he has a whole 2-story enclosure inside this room, and then an outdoor enclosure also.
Okay, I did see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. My
So
sloth
he's
is
got lots of
supposed
space.
He's like, I'll be out there in a week.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a minute.
Now, do they come down once a week or once a month to poop?
About once a week.
Once a week. Okay.
Yeah, 7 to 10 days roughly is when they'll come down.
That's why they move so slow.
Yeah.
Yeah, their digestive system
It
is
takes
the
them all week to
slowest
digest,
out
right?
of all the mammals. That's right.
Oh my God, that's a bucket full of salt.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
All right,
I
I'll
may
feed
cry.
kangaroos.
I may absolutely cry.
All right, y'all, when sloths wake up, they're hungry.
Me too, same
I'm
sloth.
just waking this guy up, so you're gonna need to give him his breakfast, all right?
Okay.
All right, here we go. This is Dash. You're gonna hold him like this, but his face to your hand. And say to him, yum, 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 so he knows he's gonna
Yum
get
yum
his
yum.
breakfast.
Yum yum.
And then just hold him his breakfast like that. And that's a little more sit-down appropriate of a sloth, right?
Absolutely.
All right, guys. So, so Dash and Flash here are both male sloths. Dash is 8 months old. Flash is 6 years old. Dash and Flash are both 2-toed, 2-fingered Linnaeus sloths. Taxonomically, they are still called 2-toed or 3-toed,
Where are you going?
but
Where are you going?
he'll nibble and stuff and nibble
Okay.
and stuff. But it makes a little more sense to call them 2-fingered, 3-fingered, because they do all sloths have 3 toes on the back feet. 2-fingered have 2 on the front, 3-fingered have 3 on the front. And the sloths, beyond the number of fingers that they have, the 2-fingered and the 3-fingered are put together differently. A 3-fingered has 9 vertebrae in the cervical spine, and this guy is a 2-fingered. He's got 5 vertebrae in the cervical spine here between skull and shoulders. A 3-fingered has 9, so a 3-fingered turns his head 270 around like an owl like this. A 3-fingered has 3 vertebrae of a tail. This 2-fingered has no tail. So the 3 missing from the tail and the 4 missing from the neck are all between the hips and shoulders of the 2-fingered sloth. And if you see these from a skeleton picture, it will make more sense. So the 3-fingered sloth is this. 9 vertebrae in the cervical spine between neck and shoulders, 3 vertebrae of a tail. And he's a fairly slightly built animal. He has great big long arms but short stubby legs. The 2-fingered, which this guy is more like a truck. He's got only 5 in the cervical spine, much shorter neck. He's got no tail. Look how many vertebrae and how many ribs he's got going from hips to shoulders.
Wow.
He's got 46 ribs, 23 sets of ribs. Yes. His arms are longer than his body. His legs are longer than his arms. He has
Is he gonna fall like just jump?
absolutely not.
Okay.
He has humongous teeth.
Oh my
He has
gosh.
ginormous claws. If a scientist found one of these in the rainforest, a skeleton, and didn't know what it was, you would absolutely be saying top of the food chain for this guy.
Really?
But you would not come up with slow, peaceful animal who will spend his whole life hiding until something eventually catches him, right?
Right. Oh my gosh, look, he's like, hey, what's up?
So this guy also is gonna want to eat a little more for his
Yeah, boy.
breakfast. And he's gonna take a hold of my hand and hold my hand right up to his face. And be like, oh my god, give me some of that shit, Mom. So, sloths are slow. Everyone knows that sloths are slow. But sloths are slow in ways that it likely has not occurred to you that it would even be possible for a sloth to be slow. The beginning of it is their diet. So, in the rainforest, the sloth is eating about 90% leaf material. Leaves are very little in nutritional value and very low in caloric content. Consequently, a sloth is working on an extremely limited energy budget. The sloth's energy budget is so low, in fact, that he cannot even maintain his body temperature. A sloth's core body temperature is just going to be whatever the outside air temperature is. The sloth also, excuse me, can only make milk for its babies for about 3 to 6 weeks, and that is all. Here, Bubba. And most mammals produce, store, deliver milk for their young. A sloth produces and delivers. It has no storage. It cannot invest energy into something that may not be immediately needed.
Okay.
So as the baby nurses, the mother makes the milk drop by drop as the baby nurses, only for about 3 to 6 weeks. They do stay with their baby for longer than that, but after they've stopped nursing, they're simply teaching the baby how to survive in the world. The sloths are entirely solitary creatures. After they have finished nursing their baby with milk, they have after they have weaned their baby, they have no further relationship with the baby than with any other animal. And sloths are 100% solitary. When a female is in heat, they make a D-sharp, high-pitched screaming sound, and whatever male rushes over there the fastest, that's the lucky man for this year or two. And they mate for about 2 or 3 minutes. I guess that's the only thing they do quickly. And then they don't see another sloth for another 2 years.
Wow.
They only, on average, have 1 baby in 2 years. And the 2-finger tends to stay with its baby for something in the 3 to 6 months range. The 3-fingered stays with its baby for possibly a year, maybe even 2.
Wow.
Almost every sloth that you see in the continental U.S. is going to be a 2-fingered Linnaeus sloth. It's a dietary thing. So a 3-fingered sloth eats almost exclusively sarcopia leaves. Sarcopia trees do not exist in the continental U.S. So similar to feeding a koala, if koalas eat nothing but fresh eucalyptus leaves, and if you're trying to get licensed for a koala, they'll tell you that you need to budget for 1 to 4 koalas. You need to budget $600,000 a year for food, because it's basically the price of flying a jet back and forth to get fresh eucalyptus leaves every other day.
Wow.
Oh my
So
gosh.
you don't have to fly as far to get. Excuse me, sorry. I'm not sick. I'm not contagious.
You're
After
good.
chemotherapy, allergies hit me in the lungs instead of the nose.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to get you sick. You just have to be annoyed listening to me.
You're good.
But so anyhow, that's why there's very few 3-fingered sloths in the continental U.S. as it is so doggone expensive to feed one.
Right?
Yeah.
The sloths in a conservation status would be called of least concern, which is the same thing that you would say about a white-tailed deer. Well, their numbers are dropping precipitously. So who knows how long there will still be wild sloths, but the biggest threats to sloths are being taken for the pet trade and power lines.
Power lines.
Yeah, power
Would have
lines.
guessed that one. Oh, that's terrible.
Sloths like to travel along power lines, and if they're hanging on one line, that's fine. But if they reach from the line to the pole, fried
That's
sloth.
it.
And So, and actually, the place that we get our sloths from, that is where his generation 0 comes from. His animals are too injured to be returned to their rainforest.
Oh, wow.
And they live as wild on a very large place that he has.
That's
And
cool.
they're not interacted with. That's his generation 0 of his breeding colony.
Okay.
So none of the sloths that he has were taken from, some were rescued, but none were taken from the wild.
Right.
And I always do a disclaimer every time I'm on a live to say, please don't look at what we're doing and think it's a good idea to buy yourself a sloth. It is positively not. There is a lot that goes into keeping and caring for sloths. And because of that, there is no reputable breeder of sloths who will sell a sloth to a member of the general public. They are extremely unlikely to survive without expert care. So if you find a sloth that is for sale on the internet, you are contributing to the trade of wild animals. They are absolutely wild animals. Everyone who sells one on the internet will tell you that they're captive bred, but if you challenge them to produce the parents, they will not talk to you anymore. So similar to a house cat that will lay in your lap and purr while you pet it, and then go take a feral cat from the woods, hold that in your lap, and see how that goes.
Right.
Same way. Also, according to slothconservation.org, a sloth taken from the rainforest on average will only live for 2 months. So you're not only contributing to reducing their numbers, you're contributing to the immediate extinguishing of one sloth's life.
That's terrible.
So please don't do that. Also, I do also disclaim and say, if you're going to a sloth encounter, please look before you book. Our sloths see 2 hours of encounters per day, and that is all. They have a 1 hour in the AM, 1 hour in the PM, and a 3-hour gap in between the two, so they get plenty of time to sleep and relax and eat in between encounters. They do enjoy eating if we've just woken them up before their encounters. He loves to eat during his encounters, but all of our sloths get fed whether they do their encounters or not. Even if it's time for his encounter and he decides not to come down that day, he still gets all of his food. This dish fits in that little slot right there.
Okay.
And he gets his food whether he eats it during an encounter or whether he doesn't even come down.
Nice.
So anyhow, there are other places that book sloths for as much as 8 and 10 hours a day. That is far too much stress on a sloth. And people sometimes get frustrated with me that it's so hard to book an encounter here, but we just are extremely jealous of our sloths' time,
Yes.
and more specifically of the number of people that they get handed back and forth.
Exactly.
Well, there's a difference between the love of sloths and the love of money.
You're right.
And so anyhow,
He's like, can I have some
but
of that?
back about the sloths though. You asked if he would fall out of that tree, and he will not. The reason that he will not is that for us, if we were going to hang in that tree, a minute would be a long time to do a 2-arm hang, right? And the reason for that is this is our stress or exertion state. This is exerting energy.
Green bean or something?
Yeah. Give them all that you want. So this is our stress or exertion state. This is our relaxed state. Sloth is the opposite. His tendons are really tight through his hand and forearm,
Okay.
so that clamped down like that, that is his relaxed state.
Oh, wow.
So when he's hanging like that, that is completely relaxed, exerting no energy at all. If the sloth's life ended hanging in that tree, he would not necessarily fall, because this is completely relaxed due to the tightness of the tendons.
Wow.
So this is exertion. Opening his hand is exertion. So the sloth has a number of modifications for hanging in trees upside down. Their stomach has a one-way at the top, so food goes in, but it can't go back out like this.
I think you're all done, buddy.
And the sloth, I showed you the picture with how many ribs they've got. Our organs are just sitting in our pelvis, upper bounded by our diaphragm, and they're just loosey-goosey in there basically. The sloth, his organs all have connective tissue going back and forth between his ribs. So whether he's horizontally upside down like this, or whether he's vertically upside down like that, or whether he's hanging right side up in a tree, or laying on his back, laying on his belly, laying on his side, whatever position the sloth is in, his organs remain position and orientation the way that they should be because of all this connective tissue.
Wow.
So when the sloth is in the top of the tree, he is almost entirely safe. The reason for that, the sloth has no body temperature. His energy budget is so low that he cannot maintain his body temperature. So his body temperature is whatever his surroundings is. So in the rainforest, daytime highs in the upper 80s, nighttime lows, high 60s, his core body temperature can make a 19-degree swing from day to night.
Wow.
And he's fine with that. And that makes it so that a snake cannot find a sloth. The sloth has no scent. He has no scent gland, musk gland, sweat gland, none of it. A sloth doesn't smell like anything, except the moss and algae that grow all in his fur. So between no scent and no temperature, that's the two ways that if a snake finds a sloth, it is pure dumb coincidence.
Wow.
The cats can't get to this sloth because the sloth is super light. He weighs only 15 pounds and he hangs on the branch. And when he sees motion, end of the branch, end of the branch, end of the branch, and then bang, the branch is going to go down. And the sloth will be hanging down here. The cat is trying to follow the sloth along the top of the branch. And he gets to the end, and what's he going to do, right? So,
You want a carrot?
and sweet potatoes actually.
Oh,
And if the sloth, too much sugar in a carrot. If the sloth gets to the end of the branch and the cat follows it so far that the whole mess breaks and falls 100 feet all the way to the rainforest floor, the sloth will almost certainly survive uninjured, and the cat will almost certainly not. And the sloth will look over at the cat and he'll say, ha,
I don't
ha.
laugh flat, hold it
And
on.
back up the tree he goes.
Wow.
So even though he is safe in the top of the tree and risking his life when he comes down the tree, yet the sloth comes down the tree, same side of the tree every single time to go to the bathroom. There's a cute picture. And when the sloth comes down the tree, here, let me take it from over here so I can frame the sloth.
Sorry, that's on video.
That's okay.
Oh, good. Where's that little, oh, it's not going. There we go.
You stopped.
Hey, baby Dash, wake up, buddy. Hey, Dash.
Dash is like, no
No cameras, please.
camera, please. I'm hanging out.
Hey, baby boy.
Does he eat this stuff?
No,
Is he
it's too big for him.
small? Yeah.
Okay. And you said
Now,
how old is
He
he?
eats that stuff chopped up
But
really
like,
fine
just-
into his mix of food. There's little
Uh-huh.
diced pieces in there.
How old is he? Dash?
Between 8 and 9 months.
No.
Okay.
He currently weighs 4 pounds. He was 1.5 when he came.
Oh my gosh.
And the next sloth you're going to see is 16 months old, and she weighs 15 pounds.
Is that Zoe?
Oh,
So,
you
yeah.
thought I had food,
And
I'm sorry.
she is the size of him, mass-wise. But if you look at his claws, they're huge. Hers are small.
Yeah.
His teeth are huge. Hers are small. His hair is long. Hers is short because she's not mature yet.
Okay.
He also will sit up around your neck, just turn
Oh,
around.
that's what he was wanting to do, I think. Let's see. All right, hang on, buddy. Oh my God.
No, we'll just not put some moves foot across there. Here we go.
And he's like, hey, Dad.
Oh, he's so soft. I was not expecting him to be so soft.
Right.
I know, he is.
So even though the sloth is safe in the top of the tree, yet he comes all the way down the tree, same side of the tree, and goes to the bathroom in the exact same place that he always goes. So the reason for that, because it makes no sense, right? Why is he going to risk his life to come down to go to the bathroom? The reason for that is the sloth-moth symbiotic relationship. So in the wild, not here, praise the Lord. In the wild, sloths need moths and moths need sloths. The sloth will have 100 or so moths living in his fur all of the time in the wild.
Okay.
The benefit to the moth, and there is a type of moth called a sloth moth that lives nowhere in the world except in the fur and in the waste pile of a sloth. The benefit to the moth is that the sloth is the food source and the living environment of the moth. The moth is eating the moss and algae that grow all in the sloth's fur. The only reasons that the moth leaves the sloth in its life is to drink water that pools up in the leaves in the canopy of the rainforest and to get into the waste pile to lay its egg when the sloth comes down the tree. When the sloth comes all the way down the tree, he gets his hiney right to the ground, and he drops his load right there. And the you need some snacks.
Yeah, she's okay. Awesome.
When the sloth gets his hiney right down to the ground, he is dropping his load, and his load is going to be 1/3 of his total body mass. Between solid and liquid, 1/3.
Wow.
Because he's eating 10% of his
That's why he
body
goes
weight
it once a
every
week.
day, and he only goes to the bathroom once in a week or 10 days. So literally 1/3 of his body mass. So put that to human perspective, if I was going to eat 10% of my body weight every day, I weigh
Wow.
180 pounds. That's me rolling into Outback and saying, bring me 18 of those 16-ounce porterhouse
Wow.
steaks.
God.
Or hitting the golden arches and saying, bring me 70, 80 of those quarter pounders with cheese.
Whoa.
That's what I'm jonesing
Today.
for today and every other day. And then if I was going to eliminate 1/3 of my body mass the way that a sloth does, that means starting from my natural mass of 180, I'm going to eat and eat and eat and eat and eat and eat and eat, and then I'm going to eat, then I'm going to eat some more, and then I'm going to eat. Until I get up to about 240, and then kaboom, back to 180 in 2 or 3 minutes.
Wow.
So that's me dropping 60 pounds at one shot. Bag of dog food in a 5-gallon bucket, right? In 2 or 3 minutes.
That's crazy.
Let your mind settle on that for a second, we'll move on. So when the sloth comes down the tree, the moths all fly down off of the sloth, lay their eggs in the waste pile, get back to the sloth as quick as they can because they don't want to miss their ride back to the canopy, right? So then from there it's row, row, row your boat. This week's eggs or next week's larva or the following week's moths. So every time that the sloth comes down the tree, there's a new stage in the life cycle of the moths, and there's more moths to fly up onto the sloth and live their whole life on the sloth.
Wow.
Now, the benefit to the sloth,
You are so interesting.
the benefit to the sloth is that as the moths are eating the moss and algae in the sloth's fur, they are fertilizing that moss and algae via their waste. So the more moss and more algae, more camouflage for the sloth. The one animal that can get to a sloth on the top of the tree is the eagle. Eagles have really good vision. They don't rely on the branch to support them. They don't need heat to find them. They don't need to smell them to find them. So the one animal that can get to them is an eagle. So more moss, more algae, more camouflage from the eagles. The second benefit is that as the sloth grooms himself, he licks up a certain amount of the moths themselves. That is his protein source. Also, as he grooms himself, and most importantly, as he grooms himself, he licks up a certain amount of the waste of the moths. The waste of the moths are where the sloth gets the bacteria that digest his food. If the sloth's moth colony should perish, the sloth will perish with it.
Wow.
Approximately 30 days later, due to starvation. Not for lack of food, but for lack of ability to digest the food. Now, he does not need the moths in captivity.
Okay.
First, he doesn't need camouflage, nothing here is hunting him. Second, he doesn't need the protein, he gets 2 hard-boiled eggs a week.
Nice.
Third, he doesn't need the replacement bacteria. Now, we also have helpful gut bacteria. Our nurse can tell us that our gut bacteria will last throughout our lives unless
Antibiotics.
a lot of antibiotics. We take a long course of antibiotics, we need probiotics or Greek yogurt to fix our gut health back up. The sloth doesn't know where GNC is, he's never heard of Publix. He's getting no Greek yogurt, he's getting no probiotics. So his replacement bacteria comes from the moths in captivity. But for us, what interrupts our gut bacteria colony is antibiotics. What interrupts his gut bacteria colony is cold temperature. So if the sloth gets cold, his gut bacteria colony will be interrupted. He will need replacement gut bacteria. In captivity, we never ever let a sloth get cold. And just like if we never take antibiotics, we never have to give a second thought to our gut bacteria. If the sloth never gets cold, he never has to replace his gut bacteria. So that's why you need very specific environments for a sloth to live in. It needs to be 80 degrees and 50% relative humidity all the time.
Wow.
And So the sloth is a pretty amazing animal that is ultimately designed to fit the niche of the environment where he
Yeah.
lives.
Wow.
At the start, I told you he can't see the difference between your finger and the green
Right,
bean, right?
yeah, I can tell.
The
it will-
structure of his eyes is rod monochromacy.
Okay.
Rod, all rod cells. Chromacy, chromatic vision. He has all rod cells, no cone cells, so he sees motion very well. He sees objects very poorly. He cannot see the difference between me and either one of you. He literally can't. He has excellent hearing, excellent sense of smell, but he can't see the difference between me and either one of you. But if you've ever seen the movies where the army guys are running around with the night vision goggles on and they do the POV on them and you just see a bunch of blobs moving around, that's what a sloth sees. He sees motion very well. He sees objects very poorly. But anything moving in the direction of a sloth is bad news for a sloth. So end of the branch, get to the end of the branch. All he needs to know is anything is moving towards me, and I'm gonna get to the end of the branch where I can stay safe. And so he has, his sense of hearing is wonderful, his sense of smell is wonderful. He also has an excellent sense of spatial awareness. So as the sloth is moving around in his home range of trees, he moves around full speed without seeing a darn thing, because he just remembers where everything is. Now that does lead to sloths sometimes falling.
What is
There
full
are,
speed for them?
if you read on slothconservation.org or slothconservancy.net, they'll tell you about 12 to 15 feet per minute. Now, I personally see this sloth routinely move about 40 feet per minute,
Wow.
because when I open his door and say, "Hey, Flash," he comes scurrying right down, and he can make it, the top up there is about 25 feet up, and he can come from the top all the way down across and out here in about 30 seconds.
Oh, wow.
But they might be talking speed over distance, and I'm talking top speed.
Right.
So, I'm not here to argue with anybody else's observations. But what you read on the internet is 12 or 15 feet per minute. On the ground, all they do is drag themselves. So, 6 or 8 feet per minute is about it. And that's why traffic also is very, very dangerous for sloth, is if they're
Right.
trying to drag themselves across the road. Even if they go just perpendicular across and they're moving with purpose, if the road is only 50 feet across, that's 10 plus minutes for the sloth to crawl across the road.
Okay.
And so remember that relaxed is clamped down, so he has to remember to let go to move across,
There we go.
like so.
There's a So, I guess I don't encounter stuff like that though in the wild. That I have to worry about,
About what?
like being on roads and things like.
As
Because
human
they're so
development
far out.
happens more and more, and the power lines are starting to go across the rainforest instead of around the
Really?
rainforest. Transmission of electricity is a difficult thing, and so they are more and more. Yeah, don't let them nip at you.
Yeah.
So if he starts to nip at you, just turn your face away. He's like a puppy experiencing his world with his mouth.
Yeah.
But
I guess I never thought that they would put power lines in the rainforest. That's crazy.
well, I mean, not through the middle of it, but
But yeah.
I mean,
outskirts.
sloths move around more than they used to think that they did. They used to
Really?
think sloths lived in one tree or a very small set of trees because of the way they always go to the bathroom in the exact same place. That's how you find a sloth.
Yeah.
And now they understand that they only live in the one tree or very small set of trees when they are raising a baby. So when they're raising a baby, they stay in a very, very localized environment, and they're teaching their baby how to survive in that very small environment. And then when the mother weans her baby, she just ditches, leaves the baby there, and never comes back.
And goes to
So
climb
then,
up the tree.
or doesn't. They move more than you think.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So then the baby, it understands its world this much, and then over its lifetime, its world expands.
Oh, okay.
And but some of those sloth tracking bracelets, people tell me they see sloths move as much as a mile in a day.
Really? I tracked one
Sometimes.
on Phalo. I got it for a Christmas present for my niece.
Cool. Which sloth are you tracking?
Kristen.
Kristen. I think I have a bunch of the cards out there for
Do
him. I think
you?
Kristen is one of them that we have. How far does Kristen move?
She doesn't move a whole lot.
The males
let's
move
see.
more than the females.
Kristen. My updates on Kristen. I haven't checked on her all week.
I guess I need to download this thing. I have all these cards. up,
Yeah,
and I don't
yeah,
have it on
they've
my
got
phone.
like the little, code thing or
Yeah.
QR code, and, it gives me daily updates.
Where are you going?
His face. Oh my god.
We need to shine it together.
Is that what he was doing? This one, it says Kristen's
There's
track.
Kristen.
Oh, yep, there's Kristen. She, let's see, total distance traveled since they've tracked her is 18.6 miles.
So more than you would think.
Yep, 49.9 feet per hour is her average speed, and 25.8 feet per hour is average speed since release, since they put her back out, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm super obsessed with sloths. But I did not know that's what the difference with 2 or 3 toed was. Like I thought it was the number of toes. Yeah. I thought it was freaking awesome. I had on my lap at first. I was like, oh, this is not good.
Do we have any rides today? Okay.
He's like, hey, what's happening back there?
Yeah, see me?
They are amazing.
I like camera time.
Now he's turning around.
Oh, he's like, oh, you need me on the camera? Okay.
Oh, I discontinued the inactivity. Oh well.
Yeah, it's okay.
I forget to come over here, and every once in a while it does a little thing that you have to slide a puzzle piece across to prove that you're still looking at the camera.
Yeah.
But while I'm on a live, I'm not looking at the camera. I'm doing what you're doing, and people are welcome to watch. But it's about your experience, not about the live.
Yeah.
But I need to walk over here more often and see if I need to do the little move the
little
puzzle
moving
piece.
thing, yeah.
So I imagine that's frustrating to people when I just drop out all of a sudden.
I don't think it does. They're in their own happy world.
No, he makes people watch it live.
Oh.
Ash is just up there like, Flash is just up there. He'll close his eyes for a little while.
Hey, also Cambry and Ellie, I'm not sure of the status of the tree bags for the farm tour this afternoon. But if you just double check and make sure that we've got plenty of those ready to go.
Look at her.
Check them and make sure they're full.
How many sloths do y'all have?
Currently 3. I was supposed to have another one
Oh, that's what you
in
said.
June,
That's right.
but that one didn't pass ambassador protocol. So it looks like probably July or August is when Chloe will come.
How long
So,
do they live in captivity?
So in the wild, it's it's just theoretical because nobody's ever observed one from birth to geriatrics. And generally they would never reach a geriatric phase because, something would catch them
Right.
before that. But I think around 20 years in the wild. If you take a sloth from the wild and make it live captive, according to slothconservation.org or slothconservancy.net or the government of Costa Rica, they'll tell you their average lifespan will be around 2 months. That they can't take the stress of it,
Yeah.
and they can't take the change to their diet and the way that they've lived all their life.
Right.
If you have a captive bred sloth like these these are multiple generations captive bred. Our sloths are more generations removed from the rainforest than I am from the American Revolution. And if you have a properly cared for captive bred sloth, they can live around 50.
Wow.
Smithsonian had one that was 49. There's 2 in Germany that are 53 and 54, I think.
Oh my God.
And there's one in China that's reputed to be more than 75 years old. But, it's China, who knows?
Right.
Maybe, maybe not.
Maybe, yeah.
But,
You
Wow.
have a long life ahead of you.
but yeah, that's why we are just extraordinarily conservative with how many people per day we allow to see our
That
sloths.
y'all do that.
Is
yeah.
these are my babies, and I love them, or I would not have them.
Right, exactly.
And I'm happy to share the love of sloths with the world, but
Yours.
I'm not happy to risk my sloth's health for
No.
money.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. It's,
And there's other places out there that replace their sloths all the time.
that's
They
terrible.
literally take finger food seriously.
I know. I didn't think he was gonna like take offense to me touching
No, he's not offended, he's exploring.
it. He's just exploring.
He's like, let me nibble you.
You can give him some leaves, those are a little bigger to feed out of your fingers instead of out of his dish.
So what type of leaves do they eat? Any green? Or any
Spinach,
specific?
spring mix, romaine.
Like us.
Stuff like that. You can hand them the leaves one at a time.
Okay.
He may or may not eat them.
Thanks. Little snacky snacks.
Just a little snack.
Oh, you look so happy eating that. Papa, gotta get him spinach, make him strong.
Popeye,
No.
right?
Not yet.
There's just you in this, Miss Jen.
Get Zoe.
You could have charged me $600 a piece, and I probably would have done it. No, he said I'm still swallowing. He would, his little.
I saw it.
I was like, oh no, we have to go down on my lap. That little baby kind of hurt. Well, apparently they got big teeth.
I mean, not like, oh my God.
No, yeah, not like a zebra biting you.
No.
Hey, you want something? Can you smell it? Okay. He's like, girl, I need you to stand up. He's so soft. The way he's cranking his neck is killing me. But thank you. He said, no, thank you.
So you're not like me, you just will indulge.
He's so little. I wouldn't expect me. He's a bonus. So because normally it's just with him and you don't hold him, you just feed him and hang out and learn about him, yeah. Yeah, chicken.
Well, you should.
I don't care if I get home at midnight. I don't either. I don't like being anywhere till 2:31. Oh my gosh.
All right, y'all, this one is Zoe. So we
Is
gotta
that her
put Dash
friend?
away because she'll be all jealous that someone else is sitting on a lap. She says, I'm the princess. No one else may have attention
Are you
while
sure
I'm
you're
in the
Zoe?
room.
And not Ari? We
So
call my
that's
puppy
good.
a princess too.
Bye, Dutch.
Obviously, this guy does not live in this basket. He transfers between the house and down here in his basket. So he doesn't catch a chill moving between the house and down here.
Who's first?
I
Okay,
can
so the
speak.
same kind of rules that you had with Dash, just long, slow pets. And as Zoe starts to reach around you, her claws, if she's pulling a little bit tight on your back, just lightly tap each one, and then she'll release those.
Okay.
And we'll give her some snacks if she's got some munchies.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
And even when she lays upside down in your lap, she does not want to be touched on the belly side.
Okay. I don't like
Even though she
touching my
sometimes
belly
lays
either.
all the way upside down like this, and it looks like scratch my belly. If you touch her, she's gonna be like, don't touch my belly.
I don't like people touching my belly either.
In a minute.
She's looking, where's my camera angle?
Yeah, she's Miss Photogenic. Wow, look how slim she is this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, is Sis on? I didn't move the puzzle piece and got timed out. Is Sis on there?
Oh, I didn't know why it was so loud. I just turned it off because I was like, there's nobody on
Does
there.
she eat those leaves
Oh,
too?
it timed out, and I just turned it back on 5 minutes ago.
Does
You
she
can
eat
ask.
the leaves
Yes,
too?
you can.
Okay.
Kimberly, can you get a bucket of grain and get Sadie's in the gate?
So she eats as much as a pound of leaves a day, so the leaves are nothing special. And she's like, fine, if you give me leaves, I'll just snuggle.
Oh my gosh.
That's why this
It
one
really is sloth snuggles.
Yep, she really loves to snuggle. That's what it takes to be an ambassador sloth, is they have to genuinely enjoy human contact. If they don't, they can go be a zoo sloth or something else.
Oh my gosh.
Her eyes are
And we are able to be patient and wait for perfect sloths and
Right.
not take, whatever.
Yeah.
Although this guy, he was our first sloth. He came to us from a reputable breeder who breeds for zoos. He was not taken from the rainforest, but he was not oriented to people when he came. So his encounters were almost 2 years in the making. You can force an animal to eat from your hand, just don't feed it, right? But for him, I didn't want to have an adversarial relationship with him. So his food dish is on the other side right there. And to get him eating from my hand, it was take a piece of food out of his dish, offer it to him, maybe for an hour or more. And if he doesn't want it, back in the dish. He gets it either way.
Right.
So it was a year until he would consistently bypass the dish to come to me to eat from my hand. Then it was another number of months before he was comfortable eating from strangers' hands.
Wow.
And to this day, I have never held that sloth. So he comes down, he rubs his face on my face, he runs his hands all through my hair like this. He'll be all shoulder to shoulder, but he's never made any move to move onto my body, and it's his choice, not mine.
Yeah.
Right.
I do wish he would let me hold him, because then he'd be able to go out for walks like the other ones do.
Right.
But if he never wants to,
That's
it's his choice.
deal. Yeah.
Oh, yes, I will.
That's amazing.
Our animals on the farm here are never hit, never struck, never abused in any way.
Oh, you can
So
tell they
our
are
animals
like very
Trust
happy.
and enjoy us.
For sure.
And probably the extreme example of that would be Ace, who ripped his eyelid halfway off over last summer. And you could see the video that he stood there with just lidocaine while me and the vet sewed his eyelid back on.
Oh my God.
That is a pretty trusting animal that's like,
Right.
Wow.
man, I need some help here.
They all
She's
look
like, "I'm a
so
camera."
healthy and happy. All of the
Cameras love
animals.
me.
I am so happy that I found you guys.
I bet she'll be back.
This may be an annual occurrence. We typically go through Knoxville. We stop in Knoxville, which is about halfway for us. My family lives on the Mississippi River side of Mississippi, and his family, Scott's family, lives on the Alabama line. So it's 14 hours driving to Alabama line, 17 to my mom's house, but, you know, with stops and gas and everything else, it takes us 2 full days of driving. So this
Right.
was a perfect stop for us last night.
You just the cuddle.
She is so cuddly.
So does she sleep with her stuff, Sloth?
No.
Okay,
Just
that's how you-
transport.
So when we hold the sloth, the snuggie out and we say night night, that's how she knows she's going to a new person. And she moves
Aw.
on to this little snuggie, and that's how we hand her from person to person. Because when she's hovering through the air on the transfer, she might grab
Yeah.
on too
Oh,
tightly,
yeah.
and we don't want
Like when
anybody
you
to be
tried to do.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, I got you.
And habit patterns are really good for animals so that
Yeah.
they feel safe and secure when they're doing things.
We should have asked for a transfer.
I know. I made a rookie move.
I'm sorry, Dash.
Right? Dash is like, it's okay, I'm used to dealing with dumb people.
So Zoe was our first holding sloth. So given that she was our first holding sloth, we treated her like parents treat a first child.
Uh-huh.
That everything was just her way all the time.
Uh-huh.
And that's why she doesn't want you to touch her belly, she doesn't want to touch her feet, not her ears, none of the rest of it. So with Dash, I sit there and I stroke his ears like this while I hold him at night. And I
To
sit
get
and
him used
stroke
to
his
it.
feet like this, and I rub him all over his belly like this. So
Yeah,
that
so
he doesn't feel all stressed out when other people
do it.
haphazardly
Right.
touch him. So see, like she's laying upside down, and
But don't
people
touch the belly.
Well,
won't
He took my
remember.
finger, but I think he took because he thought he was getting a snack.
Yeah,
It's the belly trap, like when cats do it and then they tear you up because
Mhm.
you do touch your bellies.
Yeah.
I know I keep referring to my dog, but
Yeah.
if you rub her belly,
I think
she fights it because she knows she's fixing to go to sleep.
Oh, is that what she does?
But if you rub it just right long enough, sorry, you want to hold it yourself.
Yep. Oh,
Oh,
oh, listen to those teeth.
okay, you want to hold it?
Oh, look.
got it?
No.
You want these leaves, but. Okay.
No.
She's like, I thought I wanted it,
I
but
thought she was reaching for your phone.
she might be. She's a diva, so I hear.
Oh, we don't.
Yeah, if you rub just long enough, you can get her to stay still. She'll be out cold.
Oh,
She's like, no, I'm just gonna.
oh,
snuggle.
she's hugging me.
Just gonna snuggle.
Her fur is softer than I thought it was gonna be too.
So Dash is just starting to have his little silvery hairs poking through his coat, and he's turning more and more silver every day. She has her adult coat all through her, but see how short hers is and how
Yeah,
long his
his
is.
is so long.
And his is long, but sloths don't shed. You know, growing more hairs is another form of energy expenditure, and
Yeah.
sloths cannot expend any energy that they don't have to.
Wow.
So even, you know, like a person sheds 15 or 20 hairs every day, and you
Yeah.
grow that many hairs every day, if God willing. And
I lost
And-
all mine during this, and so it's just.
oh, I lost all mine when I had chemo,
Yes.
and I'm not a handsome bald man. I have like a Klingon ridge down the middle of my head, and just not a good look. So I was very, very happy when my hair came back, and when it first comes back after chemo, it's like you have little baby hairs all
Yeah,
over the
yeah.
top of your head. And they say that you didn't have chemo though, did you?
I didn't, but
No.
as many surgeries I had, the
Oh, yeah.
anesthesia.
Just body stress.
Yeah.
She was in
Yeah.
a coma for 30,
No, it's like 23 days.
23 days.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they had her in a
Medically
drug-induced
induced.
coma.
Oh wow. Yeah. So with chemo, they say your hair can come back a different color, a different texture.
Yeah.
It could be
Yes,
straight,
I
then
have-
curly, curly, then straight. I was really hoping I was going to come out, you know, curly black hair, but it didn't happen.
It didn't
for me.
happen, huh?
Hey, pretty girl.
Mhm.
She's falling asleep.
No, she's not. She's
Oh.
wide awake, but her vision is horrible. So, you know, if you're like listening closely, sometimes you close your
Okay,
eyes.
Oh,
so she
yeah.
did.
So she is focusing in on her good senses.
Ah.
So she is smelling and listening and experiencing her world. And she's pressed up chest to chest with you, feeling your body. And she's just using all of her senses that work well to experience you.
Okay. And that's why no perfumes or strong lotions or anything, because they can smell so good.
And she'll go to licking you, yeah.
Oh, well, we don't want all that. You don't need to lick us. We've been in the outside world. We've been in the outside world, so.
You're very cute, but I still would take a little kangaroo on me.
Oh, you should see a tiny kangaroo sometime.
I didn't know those existed. I learned so much today.
I've learned a lot today. The
Our,
whole two on
big-
deck thing got me.
Our big breeder male that's outside,
Uh-huh.
he's taller than me when he stands on his back feet.
Oh. Now pronounce your form.
Okoe,
Okay.
Oh, yeah, okay.
the river out
Uh-huh.
back there is the Ocoee River, which happens to be the #1 whitewater rafting destination in America.
That's
Oh.
where I've heard.
Okay.
That was the big male that's outside, that's him when he was a baby.
Oh my gosh.
So they come to the house some?
Males are harder to raise, so he lived in the living room till he was almost a year.
Wow.
And we didn't do bottle feedings with guests back then.
Yeah.
Coda the Coadamati, that's when he was a baby.
Oh my gosh.
She looked like a little baby.
He's the one straight across the hall from us.
She's heavy. Like heavier than I thought she was.
She's
gonna
like,
be.
That's what a unicorn looks like. Camel that's outside.
oh, he's tall.
He
He
happens to be the
big.
biggest, as far as we know, he's the biggest dromedary camel
He's huge.
east of the Mississippi.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
He
That's
comes
how big emu's feet are. That's my hand holding an emu's foot.
Wow.
I had no idea.
Yeah, dinosaurs.
They are
I am.
dinosaurs.
This is very
It
educational.
has been way more educational than I thought it was gonna be.
That's how much wool comes off of one alpaca in 1 year.
Oh my gosh.
So, do y'all sell the wool?
Or make,
Okay.
no.
It's another cutesy picture of a kangaroo.
A kangaroo in clothes is even cuter than a baby kangaroo.
That's a baby pony that we called called Ditto. No, wait, what do we call him? Carbon. He's a carbon copy of his mom.
And he
because
sure
his
is.
Markings are
Yes.
exactly identical.
Oh
to mom.
my gosh.
So, how old is that little baby in the picture?
2 days.
Okay. So, it's going to kind of grow to be the size of mom?
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that picture was 2 years ago.
Oh yeah.
You
No,
know,
I'm sorry, that was
the,
more than
fun,
that.
the funny thing is, I love miniature things, but I've never been like, oh, a miniature horse. I'm like,
So-
meow.
A miniature horse and a pony are two different things.
Yes.
A pony is a dwarf of a horse.
Mm-hmm.
A miniature horse is intentionally bred down from standard horse stock just by repeatedly breeding the smallest two horses that you can find,
Oh.
with the goal being to maintain the proportional relationship between a miniature horse and a standard horse.
You are
Ah.
very smart.
That's those white cows.
Oh.
That's what they look like when they're bathed up.
Oh my gosh. They are so cute and
Annie
fluffy.
and
Annie and Dolly.
Dolly.
Hang the
On the
roof.
farm tour, I talk about how swans do the hearts with the heads thing. When they sing, they only sing to their own mate. That's why they're called mute swans. They only sing 1 month out of the year during breeding season. They come up to each
I
other
was
like that and sing
wondering
back and forth
how
like
Oh
this.
my gosh.
And when they're singing to each other, that's the way that they stand or swim to each other. It's not just on Disney. It's really
That,
the way
oh
that they
my
are.
gosh. She was telling us why she had the baby Hans, because they were getting, well, they kicked one out. She said 1 egg out of the nest, and then,
It's my long one that I don't have anymore.
oh my gosh.
wow.
He ran at me with the horns once too often.
Mm. Kind of like what's the name that ran?
That's one after we sewed his eyelid back on.
Oh my gosh. That's pure trust right there, buddy.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, Texas Longhorn that ran charged.
Bevo?
Yes, that charged. Okay.
Uh-huh. Yeah, Bevo. I think it's his name.
The white pony that's up, the white miniature horse that's up there in the petting farm, that's him when he was born.
Oh.
That was,
So do y'all do things all year round, just depending on or no, you just kind of slow things
we
down?
don't do Sundays, we don't do Easter, we don't do Christmas.
Oh, wow.
Beyond that, every day of the year, I'm out here running experiences and tours.
Wow.
Y'all stay pretty busy,
Yes.
Good.
and your kids work here too.
2 of them.
Okay.
I have 10.
Oh my gosh.
Are you a kangaroo?
Right? We had 2 on deck at all times. I'm sorry, that was probably loud
That's a
to you.
baby of mine.
That's chocolate milk.
That's chocolate milk right there.
So those 2 guys, they were your sons.
I don't remember which 2 were down here. 2 of them are my sons.
Yeah.
And then you got.
No, one of those was my son, one of them was not. My
Oh,
other
okay.
son, you'd know him by his accent because he's
Okay.
born in Ukraine.
Oh.
Good night, baby. There you go. Yeah, my wife didn't birth 10 kids. Half of my kids are adopted from Ukraine.
That's amazing.
And they were adopted as 11, 12, 13-year-olds,
Okay.
not babies.
Oh, that's amazing.
I know, I was telling her, I said, how would it be to have a friend and be like, you wanna come over and hold the sloth? Be like, I'll be there in a minute.
She really gives the best hugs, doesn't she?
She's all about it.
That's great that she enjoys it though. And it's crazy that he does it. He's like, nope. I'm cool.
He
just
just
hanging
wasn't,
with you.
he wasn't raised the same.
Yeah,
And that's okay.
and that's okay.
She's like, hey, you jealous of me?
See, buddy.
And she's how old? How old are you? You don't want to know. No.
I didn't watch your necklace.
Tap.
Oh, don't get like these.
Du var med and all the stuff in the field room? Or
Say what?
10 bags, put it in an hour and garage.
In there, 'cause I don't want my son.
Tap,
Yeah,
tap.
they let you just take 10.
That's good. Stop going with me.
It's okay.
Are you hungry? Is that what the deal is?
No, she's just looking around.
No, nothing. Just hanging out. Their eyes are so small.
I love that little noise they make when I can't stand to hear somebody chew or eat, but I love to hear little babies like.
And our animals.
Uh-huh.
You're hearing her teeth sharpening it against
That's
each
what they
other.
do. I don't know.
Oh,
She's like, I don't want to shave my belly, but don't touch my belly.
where are you going?
I don't usually talk to anyone on camera during a goal. I mean, during a live, but we're way over time. And this says, I have a flash goal to get 18 people to send us a heart. So if 18 people would please send me a heart, that would be
Don't
great.
nibble me.
Please and thanks.
Don't nibble me.
It's just my son, sorry. Oh, I love that he's just.
She's like, I like you.
Thanks, Christine.
Don't eat the joy.
Thanks, Kimmers. As I'm going back on the other, thank you, Berlin. As I'm going back on the other side of the camera, so sis, if you'd thank people, I'd appreciate it. Are you on there, sis? Sis Nuz is one of our moderators who is a volunteer who comes on and answers questions for us, because when I do a live, it's about the people here for the experience, not about the camera. So I generally don't answer any questions during a live, and Sis does a great job of answering general questions for people, and we appreciate her so much. But now I'm saying nice things about Sis, and I don't think she's on right now. Well, Sis, if you are on there, we appreciate you. Much love.
Is Daddy on? Oh, goodness.
No, you can't eat.
You want a snack, Miss Ma'am?
Oh, she gave the big one, yeah. Say thanks.
Give her some of these big ones.
Okay.
Her favorite thing is the sweet potatoes.
Oh, we can do that. She's like,
She went to the bathroom last night, so she is extra hungry.
Oh, she's
today.
good to go then, okay.
Yep, so she weighed 5 pounds more yesterday than she does right now.
Crazy. Sounds like me on this medicine.
If you want to see how a sloth goes to the bathroom, you'd have to back up probably a month or two into my TikTok videos
Uh-huh.
and look for one that says
she's like,
sloth
"Ma'am,
potty dance.
You're not
Sloth potty dance.
Yeah, on the cover of it, I believe it
I'll
says
have to
sloth
look.
potty dance.
I will definitely have to look. I watched so many of them when I found you guys. She eats quicker than I thought they would.
I was just going to open the door, see the housekeeper walking down with a massive load of laundry from upstairs.
Yeah, they eat a lot quicker than I thought they would.
Say what?
There's a door, it's okay, I'll do it.
You can tell me.
The, table in the pink room is a little loose.
The
Coming off
thing
that-
screwed to the wall?
Yeah.
Okay, I can fix it in a while.
She really likes these.
Yeah.
She's like, I gotta fill back up.
So would she prefer to like show her belly to eat, just not rub it, or?
She's just chill. She
Yeah, she
she's
whatever.
like
Rob.
chill and trusting. She just doesn't want you to touch her belly. That's all.
And not touch the belly.
She's all twisted around.
You know, that's why I was like, do you think she'd be? She's like, you can look, just don't.
I'm coming. That's something different.
Do they have a limit of how much y'all allow them to eat?
They get 7 ounces of veggies in a day, and they get 2 hard-boiled eggs a week, 3 servings of fruit a week, and leaves without limit.
Okay. Leaves are like calorie, no calories, free. Yeah,
That's why
hungry.
she's like, nah, I don't want those leaves.
Right, she's like, I get all the leaves all the time.
Yeah, it's no special treat for her to eat the leaves.
You were hungry. Oh, Flash is just hanging out there. He's chilling.
She's like,
I'm
"My-
sorry, my bad. My bad, girl.
She's like, do not look at
That's right.
my brother.
You don't talk
Baby.
to another sloth when you guys that way, apparently.
Are you gonna be jealous when Chloe comes?
Chloe and Zoe.
She's like, no, because I'm still the princess.
And y'all got her when she was small?
4 months old.
4 months, yeah. And she heavier than you thought she was gonna be? I thought she was chunky.
I mean, she's heavier than Dash, but.
Well, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's not saying much.
Dash is like, I'm gonna catch up.
Got some squash. I really didn't expect them to move it back and like eat it so quick. Face and nose. She's so funny looking. I just love her. She has a record face, like, and she's all business.
She's like, I ain't gonna eat this. Oh, did that call scare you?
She jumped a little.
Every
bit.
sudden noise does.
She's like,
I think they'd be used to me hacking.
Right.
It's when the little yellow flowers are outside, that's when I cough.
are you going somewhere, Dash?
I'm coming, buddy.
So you guys are driving back today?
We are, we'll head on back. I
Long
know.
drive, huh?
Yeah, the work, we normally stay in Knoxville, like I said, but obviously we came to do this, but,
She's like, do not. talk about that."
81 is the bane of my existence. And of course, you know, you go from this corner diagonally across the whole Commonwealth of Virginia. And
I used to live up there.
it's horrific.
I lived in Chesapeake
Yeah.
for 20 years.
Right.
And my wife's people are in West by God, Virginia.
West by God, Virginia,
So
that's
you
right.
drive, what is that, across 64, then 81 and 64?
66. Yeah. Oh,
Mm.
no, 64 to, yeah, West Virginia, yeah.
Yeah, 64,
66
and then
runs
64 and 81 run together right
Yeah.
there for, I don't know, 15, 20
Yeah.
miles.
Yeah.
And that is semi-central.
Yeah.
Like, it's the greatest
It's
concentration of
crazy.
semis on Earth, I think.
It's really insane. I mean.
And look at him sticking his face out.
I know.
He's like,
There he goes. I almost lived out there at one point. There's a place called Clifton Forge,
Okay.
and it's in the Jackson National Forest is right there, and
Uh,
there was this one property that was 3/4 of the way around bounded by the Jackson National Forest, and the other quarter of the way around bounded by the Jackson River.
okay.
And the only way to get there was the freeway exit dumps into a community college parking lot. You go out the back of the community college parking lot, and then they had these pilings in the river, and they laid out logs across the pilings to drive trucks across to get to
Oh,
the other
wow.
side.
Oh.
And it was basically 3 million acres for the price of 71, because the whole rest of the thing, it just ran into the national
I
forest.
got you.
And the guy that lived there was like 80 years old. He said he'd never seen a park ranger in his entire life.
Wow.
And to get to the ranger station, you know, if you went through the middle of the forest, you get there quicker, but he said it was like a 2-hour drive around the outside. But I was going into it in a partnership, and I wanted to build a bridge. I didn't want to drive my truck across
Right,
logs
right.
laid on pilings, carrying a horse trailer.
Yeah.
And but the other guys didn't want to, so I bowed out.
I got you.
But
Oh,
it was
wow.
a gorgeous place.
I can only imagine.
So how did you come across doing this?
Oh, tell the Lord your plans and listen to him laugh,
That's
right?
right.
So when I moved here, I was an apartment landlord. COVID was a very, very bad time to be an apartment landlord.
Mm-hmm.
And so that necessitated a career change. And so we converted our house to a vacation property.
Oh.
Hello? Great, stay left at the pond, turn right on the first gravel drive. Come to the pavilion in between the two barns. We'll be ready for you right at 12.
You got more people coming.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that loud truck scary. You might
Yeah, we live, there's a triangle obviously between like Baltimore, DC, and Annapolis, and we live right in the middle of that triangle in the suburbs, you know,
better
so
save your
20
phone.
minutes from
So that's
anywhere,
what
but, you know, don't have to deal with the crazy part of it, but
My brother lives in Reston.
I have a community in Reston.
The Silver Line just
We're going there
a
next
couple
week.
years ago passed his house, so now it makes his commute to everywhere better.
Oh, I bet.
He's like a block and a half off of the Silver Line.
Okay.
At the where they extended it, he's the first stop on Silver,
Oh,
I guess.
wow.
Like at Reston Town Center.
Uh-huh.
He lives on the opposite side of the freeway from Reston Town Center,
Oh, okay.
and he manages high-rise condos up there.
Oh, nice.
And then his house is on the other side. So he said the Silver Line made a huge difference in his
I
life.
bet.
But you couldn't pay me to live up there. Too
No,
much traffic.
it just have it's 31. I have a community. We rent spaces inside of standard communities for outpatient therapy,
Uh-huh.
and I have one in Reston. It's 31 miles from my house, and it can take me anywhere from an hour to hour and a half, depending on DC traffic and which
Yeah.
way you're going around. You know, we'll be over there next week. Actually, I'm training a new clinic director, and so
don't
instead
know
of
what
driving
you're gonna
back
do
and
when
forth
they're
every
inside.
day, we're just gonna hang out in the hotel they are, and that way you can just drop me off at the community, you know, and because driving back and forth would be nuts.
My brother and his wife own a ballet studio that's in one of the places that, I don't know, you might run the same similar place, I'm not sure. And then he manages, there's 3 high-rise condos next to each other,
Uh-huh,
and the first floors have commercial space, and then
Oh,
everything
okay.
above it is
yeah,
condo.
okay.
So I don't know, it would be a
Yeah,
small
ours
if you
is-
rented in his building.
I
but-
know, right, ours is, it's an independent living, and then it also has an assisted living and a memory care unit, so depending on what level.
Oh,
Some
yeah.
of them are just apartments like
He's
I
not
am.
doing that.
Yeah, no, he's just in a regular condo.
Yeah.
And we do PT, OT, and speech. Up until 2023, I was a RVP for a different company, and we did skilled nursing facilities for therapy and skilled nursing facilities. So it's been a great change for me, like you said, just different worlds, you know, from getting out of the rat race. But I've always worked with geriatric population.
Me, 20 years later, I'm still doing
Still doing the babies.
babies, labor, and delivery.
My one daughter is a pediatric oncology nurse. I'm
Oh.
like, that's a thrill of big
Wow.
victory of the agony of
Did she
Oh
do
my
St.
gosh.
Jude?
No, she has been at Oklahoma,
Okay.
University of Oklahoma, and but I've been a partner in Hope at St. Jude for decades.
Yeah,
Boy, go on a tour of that place, that's pretty amazing.
yeah, it is amazing.
And my other daughter has been trauma nurse for the last 7 years, but now she's in med school.
Oh, wow.
But my daughter that's pediatric oncology actually is not working right now because her husband is Air Force and they're stationed in Aviano, Italy.
Okay.
And so in Italy, they want to recognize
Yeah.
a U.S. nursing license. And if she was at a U.S. base, she could work on base as a nurse,
Right.
but she's at an Italian base. So
That's crazy. She is eating almost all of this.
You're
Yeah,
not gonna
hungry
be-
girl.
You're not gonna be hungry for your next showing.
she won't eat on the other things today.
No.
her afternoon when she's not
She doesn't
usually
eat.
hungry in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Because she's gonna now have a 3-hour break and she's gonna eat a whole lot of leaves and then she's gonna take a nap. And then when she wakes up, she may or may not be hungry.
She'll just be ready to snuggle.
But
I'm out of the good
feeding
stuff.
her is not generally a part of the experience.
No,
Sometimes
yeah.
it is, but generally not.
No.
Just
It's
depends
all
if
about
she's
the
hungry.
snuggles.
Yeah.
So a regular, just viewing of them, what you get to do.
So the sloth encounter is this guy, and
Yeah.
I
Okay.
talk like I talked through
Right.
this one, and you pet him, and feed him and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then when you add on the VIP, you normally
Hey, Ellie,
go into that room, and
whenever you guys get
hold
done
her
with horses
in there.
and your chores
But
are
you
done,
know, I
the
don't
horse
figure
farm,
you wanted to stand
we
up an
definitely have
extra time.
projects down here in the exotic
We-
farm.
And
We truly
then if you
appreciate
do
it.
the sloth,
Okay.
the baby sloth, that's Dash, and the baby sloth one, it's only one person at a time for
Right.
20 minutes, but if you have two people, you back two,
Back to
both
back.
20 minutes back to back, and you both go for 40.
Okay.
But
Well,
he only does 1 hour of encounters a day. These
Yeah.
guys only do 2. And his encounter is been done, but if I'm in the room, he likes to hang
He
out
just
that
hang
way
out?
anyway.
oh.
Yeah, if I open the door, he'd wear himself out running back and forth. Are you still here? Are you still here? Are you still here? Are you still here?
He likes to just be in proximity, huh?
I think
Yeah.
that, no, you
I
got
got two
Two?
more, 3 more. Well, we truly
Well, guys, I
appreciate
got my next
Yeah,
encounter already
I know.
here.
We appreciate everything you've done, John, and
No worries.
you and
I
I,
have
and
really
your whole
enjoyed
team is amazing. We really truly.
one last hug.
Oh,
Okay.
she's like, one last hug. Gotta go. Alright, I'll get some ready. Alright.
Your
ready?
12 o'clock's here.
All right, hey guys, if you're online, we are going on to our next encounter with Dash. We wouldn't usually have two close together, but we're making adjustments today. So appreciate you guys sending us the gifts. And hey, I see Kimmers is on there. Kimmers, we appreciate her too. Kimmers Zoo Crew fam is another one of our moderators. She does a great job for us too. And thanks so much, Kimmers.
I think 99's coming.
Yeah, your whole team is amazing.
All right, baby girl. Night night.
No.
Come here, sweetheart. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
All right, baby.
Alright.
You ready to take a nap?
Your water.
Hang on a second, I'll help you.
Okay. Oh, that's cool in there. They got a hammock and all.
Oh yeah, they have their hammers, they have their trees. His room goes up 25 feet.
Man,
You want to brace your feet against my feet?
thank you.
Give me your hands.
Oh,
I got you.
I'll start over. Hang on.
Okay,
There we go. Let me take your hands.
okay.
Stronger than I look.
What? Oh.
Gotta lock the knees out.
Hold on.
Are you above the knee?
One is
This is
above,
above
one
and
is
this is
Oh,
below.
that's what I'm doing wrong. I'm thinking you're below the knee. Let me just take you under the arm if you don't mind. Here we
I'm
go.
so sorry.
No, you're good.
I haven't learned how to stand up yet.
Understood.
Okay.
Got it?
Yes.
Alright.
I had to learn to walk all over again when I did my thing.
I had to learn to walk too. We're all a mess and a half, but we're good. We're doing alright for the shape we're in.
Right. Yeah, this is pretty new.
Come on in. Just bring the car right inside. Turn around and back in.
No, we're good. Okay, Pop.
Stand right there for a second. He's gonna turn around and back right up to you. Yeah, hit the hand sanitizer right here and we'll head on in just a second. Okay.
I'm good.
Military man.
I appreciate everything. Thank you so much.
You have,
Wonderful.
You have what? Every card. Ah, cool. Yeah. Wait. Come forward. No, we don't want to go across it yet. say you get paid more, so take care of them. All right, thanks so much, y'all. Appreciate you coming out. I'm gonna put this up on one of my desk with one of the minnows. Thanks. All right, y'all, come on in.
Oh, wow.
Dash is sticking his face up there.
Hi, Dash.
That's Flash. This is Dash. Flash is just going back from his encounters this morning. You can see the way that he moves if you like.
All right.
He is going to walk on into his room. You're welcome to walk in there behind him if you care to. And we'll get Dash out. Some people that watch us on live somehow think that he lives just on this bar in this room. Oh, so every once in a while, like to carry the camera in there and let people see. No, he does not, in fact, live on a single bar in a kitchen. Actually has pretty nice digs. His room goes up there 20-some feet, and he's probably heading up there to his hammock right now to take a little nap.
Wow.
Oh, you got a little hammock.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And here's Dash all wanting to crawl out and saying, hey, it's my turn, it's my turn.
Hi. Hi.
You guys are welcome to sit in those two chairs right there, and I'll hand Dash to you. Hey, baby boy, and oh, good boy, come here. You want to go see the people? This is Dash. Dash is a two-toed, two-fingered linear sloth. Probably want to tuck your necklace inside of your shirt. And be careful with the earrings because you could get his little hooks into them. You can set them right there if you like. Just don't forget them. And Dash is going to snuggle right up around your neck. Dash is like a puppy sometimes, wanting to explore his world with his mouth. If he's being nippy, just turn your hand or your face away from him. Gonna get him a little small snack here.
He's like, oh, I know it's coming.
Hi, Dash.
Can I take a picture or?
All the pictures, all the videos you want. Please do.
So what encouraged y'all to start this? I've been following y'all on
If you
TikTok.
say yum yum yum, you will probably turn around and eat that.
Oh, is that so
We started this, we started Airbnb in the cabin that was on the property, and it was supposed to have been my daughter's house, but she's a professional musician who can't be bothered to live anywhere. And then, you know, it was very, very popular, and we just expanded and expanded. And when we started out, we only had like horses and chickens and a couple dogs. And then my wife said, what if we got a llama? And then at the point she said, what if we got a camel? It kind of all went haywire after that. But we love animals, we love people, and we love the Lord. And so combining love of the Lord, love of people, love of animals, here's what we do. And so, you know, we get a lot of opportunities to meet a lot of people. And the sloth specifically, it's a little bit educational. I myself, before I knew better, went to a sloth encounter in Central America. Looks like he doesn't really want it right now.
Yeah.
And I did not understand until more than a year later that many of those sloth encounters, those sloths have a life expectancy of a month or two because it stresses them so bad. So we wanted to set up a sloth encounter where people could experience sloths in a more appropriate way. So our sloths are generationally further removed from the rainforest than I am from the American Revolution. And each sloth only does 2 hours of encounters per day. They only see 2 people at a time, except in very rare instances. And they get a 3-hour break in between their hour in the morning and their hour in the afternoon. And we are extremely guarded of our sloth's time. And usually when I'm on live, I give a disclaimer to say, please don't look at what we're doing here and think it's a good idea to buy a sloth. It is absolutely not. There is more than you might imagine that goes into keeping a sloth alive, healthy, and happy. And consequently, there is no reputable breeder of sloths that will sell a sloth to a member of the general public. So if you see a sloth that's for sale online, you are contributing to the trade of wild animals. And similarly, if you had a house cat, it will sit in your lap and purr while you pet it. And if you had a feral cat, it would not sit in your lap and purr while you pet it. And a sloth taken from the rainforest will not survive the stress of the situation. So we wanted people to be able to experience sloths in a ethical way that is more about the love of sloths than it is about the love of money. So that's why we do what we do.
I love it. I have been kind of following y'all on TikTok, and he's actually, he's the sloth, I mean, don't get me wrong, this is so cool.
Yeah.
But he's the one that has been in love with sloths for, I don't know, as long as I can remember. We've been married for nearly 30 years.
Oh, me too. It's my 30th anniversary this year.
Happy anniversary.
Not till December, but
Yeah, it's our
29th.
29th
nice,
Yeah.
nice.
in July.
So you still got a whole year to think ahead, right?
Yes.
My 10th anniversary, I had a big plan, and it didn't happen. There was a tragedy in the family, and we didn't get to go. Like the day before, we were supposed to leave on a massive trip. My 20th anniversary, I had a big plan, and it didn't happen. And hopefully this 30th anniversary will finally get it right.
I hope so. Do you want to hold him?
Just one, you ready?
He's
Back
so
in
much
1 second, you
softer
guys.
than I imagined.
Yeah, he's young. He is 8 months or 9.
Come out and disinfect them.
Hey, buddy.
Don't let him get in the hold of you, because it does hurt. He got me wallet.
Hey, buddy.
Hi. Look at your toes.
They all have 3 on the back.
Oh, they do?
Look at his front nose. His front toe. He's got 2.
Oh,
They
I
have
see.
2.
I see.
They all have 3 on the
I
back.
see. He's like, stop messing with my feet.
Does he want me to have the transfer? Hold on, let's wait till he has the transfer.
You are so cute. Imagine it does take a lot to be able to,
Yeah.
to take care of them. Are you gonna go to sleep? Oh, I feel his ears. His little ears up under there.
Add it all to chill out. We can do.
Nice.
Oh.
So guys, Dash is a 2-fingered Linnaeus sloth. Taxonomically, they're still called 2-toed and 3-toed, but 2-fingered, 3-fingered makes a little more sense. They all have 3 toes on the back feet. 2-fingered have 2 on the front. 3-fingered have 3 on the front. They are very different animals, but very similar animals. Their spines are set up differently. So if you see it from a skeleton picture, it makes far more sense. So the 2-toed is, which this is built more like a truck. You'll see that he's got massive teeth, huge claws, arms longer than his body, legs longer than his arms. He's got a short neck and no tail. He's got 46 ribs, 23 sets of ribs. A 3-fingered sloth has 9 vertebrae in their cervical spine, much longer neck, 3 vertebrae but tail. So the extras in the neck and the extras in the tail come from between the hips and shoulders. He's got long arms and stubby legs, doesn't have near the number of ribs. So a 3-toed will turn its head 270 around like an owl, like so. A 2-fingered, if this is hips and this is shoulders, they can rotate until their hips and shoulders are facing directly the opposite direction, one from the other. And but beyond that, they are collectively the world's slowest mammals. But the slowness of them begins from their diet. They eat in the wild. They eat about 90% leaves. So leaves are very low in nutritional value, very low in caloric content. And that's why a sloth is working on an extremely limited energy budget. So limited, in fact, that a sloth doesn't maintain its body temperature. Its core body temperature is whatever the outside air temperature is. It doesn't, hey, next group under 13, so I'm not live, right?
Just on YouTube.
Okay. Excuse me. The sloths only feed their babies with milk for about 3 to 6 weeks. Most mammals produce, store, deliver milk. Sloths just produce and deliver at the same time. When the baby nurses, it makes the milk drop by drop for the baby. It has no storage, it has no energy budget to store milk that it doesn't immediately need. The sloths, because they're eating almost exclusively leaves, and leaves are very low in energy, they eat a tremendous amount of them. Do you want to go ahead and hold it?
Yeah.
So they eat a tremendous amount of the leaves. They are eating approximately 10% of their body mass every single day, and about 90% of that is going to be in leaf material. The sloths move slowly, grow slowly, develop slowly. It's between right there. Move slowly, develop slowly, grow slowly. Everything the sloth does is slow, but it's because of their energy budget is what makes them slow. The sloths in the wild, they believe that they think that they live around 20 years. Oh, you don't need a code to open a camera, just hold down the camera button.
You think I'd know it?
Here, I'll open it for you. So when camera is closed, you don't have to look for it, you just take the button for the camera and oops. Slide it either up or right. Well, usually. There you go.
There.
Because you just hold the button down and the camera will open because there's no real secrets to taking a picture. You seen sloth up close before?
No. This is the first time.
Where'd you guys come from today?
From just north of Jackson, Mississippi.
Oh, okay, not far. What is that, 3 or 4 hours?
It's about, what, 6?
6.
From here, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, about 6 hours.
And then we're headed,
Headed to Gatlinburg.
yeah.
Okay,
So
cool.
we spent the night at the,
On the river.
Welcome Village, something.
Welcome Valley Village.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep, that's a mile and a half from here. Yeah.
It was beautiful being on the river, watching the kayakers get by on the river.
Yeah, if you float down the river from them to us, it's half a mile.
Oh, really?
Same river.
It was very pretty.
They have a pretty nice gazebo right on the river too.
That's
That's
we were in the
where
cabin right there.
Yeah,
Yeah, nice, nice.
we looked here, but y'all were sold out, so,
Oh, we're sold out for a long, long time.
yeah. That's what,
That's a combination of 2 things. 1, we have really cool animals, and 2, we're a lot lower priced than most other places.
yeah.
I was enlisted my first 10 years in the military and couldn't afford to take my family to do anything. So now that I'm sort of a little bit on the other side of that, I try to keep our prices to where normal human beings can come and make memories with their family. And it does mean it's harder to book here because we book further out, but it is cheaper to stay here, even though, like, well, I don't like to talk specifically about competitors, and there's no reason for that. But our stuff is just as nice as everyone else's, but very much more value priced. And since you guys are on your way to Gatlinburg, do you go there often?
We do.
Okay, so you know that you need to have either be sitting in a restaurant or have a reservation in a restaurant by 6 o'clock, or you are not going to eat in Gatlinburg, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, good. Some people don't know that and they get a surprise.
Yeah, we have been coming to Gatlinburg since we got married every year, and
Nice.
the traffic along the parkway has gotten insane over the years, and just
I don't go anymore.
it has been.
I own timeshares at the indoor water park thing up there, Great
Yeah.
Smokies Lodge.
Yeah.
I don't go anymore because I just can't. Last time I went, you know where Great Smokies Lodge is, and you know where I stopped trying to get to Super Walmart because it take an hour to drive 7 miles to Super Walmart. Now we just try to go to Kroger, that's right there just up the road. Last time I went, it's straight up the road. It took me 30 minutes to drive to Kroger's. I'm like, it's enough for me.
Yeah.
Here in our little town, we have one red light. If there's already a car at that red light, that's a traffic jam. And, that's the way I like it. I'm retired from the military, so I spent 20 years sitting in traffic on the way to and from work every day. And I don't care to ever sit in traffic again in my life.
I don't like
Only time I sit in traffic is if I'm dropping off or picking up at the airport in Atlanta.
Well, thank you for your service.
All right, well, it was 10 years of it was not fun. The rest of it was fun. The first 10 years I was in nuclear power, and that was just misery. And after that, I was flying E-2C Hawkeyes. And, they told me I could go back and do that for another 20 years, and then they cut off my right arm. I would already be in Pensacola before the conversation was finished. For an adrenaline junkie, there is no other job.
Yeah, yeah. So you're out of Pensacola, right there at the base?
No, I went to flight school in Pensacola. I was stationed in Norfolk, Virginia, almost the entire time. It's funny, most people live in one place their entire life and then they join the military and move all over. I've lived in Pennsylvania, Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, North, South Carolina, Florida, Alabama. 20 years in Virginia while I was in the Navy. But the only time I ever lived anywhere in my life, until here, more than 3 years was when I was in the Navy. I was stationed in Norfolk, Virginia for 16 years of it.
So what made y'all come to Benton?
Love it. Love it, love it, love it.
It's a
We lived in a 42-foot Newmar bus and rode around the country for a year and a half, dragging around that beater Jeep that's sitting outside, and just to decide where we would live if we ever had the option, and the Navy wasn't telling me where to live. And it was between Colorado and Eastern Tennessee, and Colorado is just too doggone cold for me. And politically, I'm a better fit for Tennessee than I am for Colorado.
Yeah.
And so we love it here. My only regret in Tennessee is I didn't move here 10 years quicker.
It's beautiful. That's where he wants us to end up. Is
No state income tax, $26.50 a year to title your car, to put plates on your car, $26 a year.
wow.
That's why my place can be littered in vehicles. It doesn't cost me anything to title them, and no personal property tax, and the real property tax is low. I just love everything about it. We have all 4 seasons, but if it snows in the morning, it's generally gone in the afternoon. But if I want to see snow, it's on that mountain right
Yeah.
there. Take me 20 minutes to drive up there and throw snowballs at people.
Hi.
You're a sweet little fellow.
He is. So our baby sloths here they come from a guy who raises ambassador sloths. He's been raising sloths for about 30 years. And when he gets one that especially loves people, that's an ambassador animal. And those guys are held in someone's lap every day of their life from 12 days forward, but they always go straight back to their mother. And their mothers know the deal. It doesn't stress the mothers. They're like, oh, somebody else take it for a while.
Yeah.
And since it doesn't stress the mothers, it doesn't stress the babies. My next sloth is already bought and paid for. I have no idea when it will be here. When its mother weans it of her own choosing, that's when it will come. But it's already being called by its name, and it will be here when its mother weans it. And it's being held by people every day. They don't start until they're 12 days old, because before that, they start eating solid food on day 3, but they're eating food out of their mother's mouth, and the first 12 days they're establishing their initial gut bacteria colony by eating food from mama's mouth. She's not regurgitating it, she just chews it, and the bacteria in her mouth gets all in the food, and that populates the baby's initial gut bacteria colony. So they don't mess with them for the first 12 days. After that, they're being held every single day by people, starting from 30 seconds, 45 seconds, a minute, until by the time mom has weaned that baby, it's being held 30, 45 minutes at a time, 2 or 3 times a day. So it is 100% people oriented, but yet it has all the social and nutritional benefit of being a mother-raised animal. So we get really, really special sloths here that genuinely enjoy being held by people. So we are not a place that pulls the sloth's teeth so that they can't possibly bite you. We are not a place that books our sloths for 8 and 10 hours a day, because it's the love of sloths, not the love of money. And we are extremely guarded of our baby's time. Here after you, I will have 3 people in the room at one time, but that's because it's a lady with 2 kids, and older than 13 has to be accompanied by a parent. But you know, they booked the whole 40 minutes, and so, but it is extremely unusual for them to see more than 2 people at once, and we are just very, very guarded of the sloth's time, because a properly cared for sloth in captivity, that's captive born, not taken from the rainforest, captive born, can live for 50 years. And according to slothconservation.org or slothconservancy.net, they will tell you that a sloth that is taken from the rainforest and made to be captive has an average lifespan of 2 months, because they can't take the stress, they can't take the change, and so we wanted to have a place that people could ethically and appropriately enjoy sloths up close and personal, and that is why we do the sloths.
And that's what I told him when I come across somebody else's videos, was that it did have to be booked, and that y'all weren't just allowing people just to come in just all day long. It seemed like it was just...
That's why all of our stuff is booked in advance. The busiest thing I do is a farm tour, but that's capped at 20 people, and it's individual guided tour. And we don't see any sloths on that tour, and we don't see any kangaroos on that tour, because those are very sensitive animals. But beyond that, you see 40 or so breeds of animals up close and personal, see them, touch them, pet them, hold them in about an hour and a half. And but those 2 are booked for a particular time. And that is why I don't rebrand as a zoo, even though I have an awful lot of animals here. It's my perception of a zoo is a place that has a lot of animals, and maybe you'll see them and maybe you won't. But you're surely not going to see them up close. And everything I have here is see them, touch them, pet them, hold them. With the exception of a coatimundi, you don't pet him. And a coatimundi, South American cousin of a raccoon.
Okay.
And you don't pet a zebra until our baby zebra will be born in a couple of months. But you don't pet adult zebras, they're not good for petting. But everything else we have is see them, touch them, pet them, hold them.
It's about time for you to get back in your little basket.
So he is just beginning to have his adult coat showing through. So when you saw a flash go into his room, you saw his hair is all silvery and about 4 inches long. So the silvery color makes like a palette for the moss and algae that are his camouflage in the rainforest that help him to hide himself. The babies are chocolate brown to espresso brown to a couple of them are even a little sort of honey brown. And he has just begun to get his, if you've been watching this on TikTok, you know what color he was a couple months ago. He's just beginning to have his adult hairs peeking through, but he won't have his full adult coat, as in the length, until he's about 3 years old.
Here, look at me,
You're cutting the top of his head off.
Ron.
There you go.
Yeah, I really wasn't worried about it. No, I'm just kidding, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
You'd be surprised how many people I tell that. You're not glued to the chair. Stand where you can get the best pictures. Guys, I'm going to welcome in our next group. We'll be back in a minute.
Sure.
Okay.
What do you think, Ryan?
Face or
Did he? Did you feel his ears? Started petting him behind his ears a little bit. Yeah. He's like, oh, I just
This hand sanitizer right here, we'll be ready to go. Yeah, so when he fluffs up like this and he blows up his bottles and his gobbles like that, he is seeking attention. He wants you to pet it. And then when he gets the attention, he just calms down, the color all drains out of his face, and his snoot that's hanging all the way down the trunk just draws up on top of his head. Yeah. Are you guys on a farm tour this afternoon?
Well, this is her birthday, so we will do her birthday.
Excellent.
He went to his own.
Oh, very good, very good. Yeah, good time to get some lunch. Yeah, Sonic is only 2 miles from here. Yeah. Go out to the driveway and go left, go to the stop sign and go left, and that's T, and then you get to the next T, you go right. No, if you go over the bridge, you go right. You go to Sonic, you go. You put it in your map, and it's only maybe 2 miles at most. Come on in, y'all. Oh wait, I gotta turn TikTok off. Can't have child under 13 on TikTok. Hey guys, if you're on TikTok watching us, thanks so much for joining us today. We will see you guys again tomorrow. And Kimmers, thanks for being our moderator today. We appreciate you. All right, y'all, come on in. This is Dash. Our last people, you got your earrings back, good?
Yes.
Our last people that were seeing Dash are wrapping up. Dash is going to see you guys now. We got to get him to release his claws. Relaxed for a sloth is clamped down. Say that in our last thing. So sloths, how they hang in a tree for a long, long time. For us, a minute would be a long time because this is our stress state. For a sloth, their relaxed state is that clamped down because their tendons in their hand and their forearm are so tight that it keeps their claws just whop, clamped down like that. So if the sloth's life ended while hanging in the tree, he wouldn't fall because this is completely relaxed. So when he's like grabbed onto you like this, that's just his relaxed state. All right, guys, come on in. Let me get us a third chair.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Hey, thanks for coming to see us today, guys. Enjoy
We
Gatlinburg.
thoroughly
You
enjoyed
guys
it.
getting the cabin
Thank
up
you so
there?
much. Yes.
All those, some of those cabins, Gatlinburg, all that.
got my phone.
I do.
All right, y'all,
Thank
come
you
on
so
in
much.
and grab a seat.
We enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Hey, if you guys do Google reviews, we would very much appreciate one. If you don't, if you do, you can scan that thing and we would appreciate a Google review. Thanks so much.
Well,
We
yeah,
appreciate it.
it's
All right, y'all have a great day.
You too.
All right, who's the birthday girl? Excellent. So when he hangs on, sometimes he hangs on a little bit tight. If you just tap him like that, he'll loosen up. And when he's clamped down like this, that's his relaxed state. He's not panicky, he's not angry, that's relaxed. Because for us, this is relaxed. For a sloth, that's relaxed. So here you go. He is going to probably want to snuggle around your neck.
Okay.
You good with that?
Yeah.
All right. Here we are, Missy. Hold him underneath his hiney right there. There you go.
What's his name?
His name is Dash. Dash likes to be petted nice and slow like this. Dash is an 8-month-old, 2-fingered, 2-toed sloth.
And he's the baby, right? So he's
He
like
is the
under
baby.
a year.
He is 8 months
8
old.
months old.
Between 8 and 9 months old.
Oh.
Right in there. He currently weighs 4 pounds. A grown-up sloth weighs about 15.
Wow.
He is just starting to have his adult coat showing through his hair right there. So his baby fur, he was espresso brown, like dark chocolate brown. And his adult coat will be silvery colored. And the silvery color lets there be moss and algae all on his fur that helps him to be disguised in the rainforest. And the things that would hunt a sloth in the rainforest would be cats and eagles. So having the moss and algae all growing in his fur helps him to have a good disguise from those animals that would want to get him. So take your arm away from him. If he starts to nibble on you, he's like a puppy, and he wants to mouth everything, and don't let him bite you.
I don't care.
Oh, you do
I
care.
have a dog.
Yeah, sloths have bacteria in their mouth, so you don't want them to break your skin. That would be no good. Say what?
Hee hee.
Yeah. The sloths digest their food by a bacterial process, not so much enzymatic. So they have bacteria that runs all the way from entrance to exit. So how old are you turning?
11.
11. Double digit. Oh, you're
Her
already
birthday's
double
8 days
digit.
after hers.
Say what?
Her birthday's 8 days after hers.
Oh, nice. Are you turning 11 too?
This
Long
one of her
delivery.
friends from school.
Oh, gotcha. So I have 10 kids, but half of mine are adopted from
Oh,
Ukraine, so I have multiples of the same
Wow.
ages, and people are,
Yeah.
they're twins? Nope.
No.
6 months apart, and they're like,
They're trying to figure that one out.
yeah.
Yeah, no, they're buddies from school.
Cool, you guys out of school for the summer?
They got out Friday.
Nice. Where do you go?
What?
Where do you go?
CA, College Dale Academy.
Oh,
CA.
cool. Do you know Mr. Beasley? You guys aren't old enough to know Mr. Beasley yet. Mr. Beasley is the science teacher at Collegedale Academy in high school, and he
Okay.
lives right there.
Oh, wow.
He's
So
my next
I
door
bet my
neighbor.
husband would know him because my husband graduated from CA years ago.
Oh, okay.
Like, he just had his 20th high school reunion. But they just graduated 5th grade.
Nice.
So they'll be going into middle.
Mr. Beasley is the science teacher, and he does it because it's his passion. His business is he owns Gorilla Running, and he operates marathons, ho-ho, halves, turkey trots, 5Ks, all over the country.
Oh.
But he says he feels called of the Lord to teach, and that's why he still teaches at CA.
So that name sounds familiar, but I can't put a face to it.
The only picture I ever took of Mr. Beasley, I think, you wouldn't recognize him from it.
He's probably running or doing something.
No, he was burning a pile out back, and I thought the woods were on fire, so I went out there to see what was up. It's a really cool picture, so I'll show it to you. But might take me a minute to find it. It's like a,
Is he hugging you? Yeah.
he was burning a really huge bonfire.
Oh, wow.
He was burning brush.
Yeah. Well, we've had a lot of windy days and stuff recently, too. With all the rain and...
How long did he hold on a branch for?
Forever. So a sloth's relaxed state is clamped down. So when he's hanging on the branch, he is exerting no energy because his tendons in his hands are really tight. So that keeps his claws clamped down like this. So if his life ended while hanging in a tree, he would not fall.
Oh, wow.
That's the video I took of Mr. Beasley.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Like, wait till it goes to slow motion. Which is funny because it looks like he's Arnold Schwarzenegger or something, but he looks more like a librarian.
That's funny. My husband's a firefighter, so he gets lots of calls all the time for people that have had like big bonfires or brushes, or he's like, they go out there and it's all controlled. He's like, yeah, it's no big deal, but I guess people driving by don't know, and they call stuff like that in all the time.
We had the fire department out here once this year because a kid lit our huge pile down there with a magnifying glass.
Oh, wow.
And the mom, in her panic state, couldn't remember the number for 911. So it boggles the mind. But so the fire was 25, 30 feet high by the time the fire department got here.
Guess y'all are in Polk County, so y'all
Yeah.
get Polk County, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So my husband works for Bradley County.
Oh, okay.
And then he also does TRICOM, so he does the volunteer there in Collegeville plus Bradley.
My son went out for the volunteer fire department here in Polk, but it was not as expected. To start with, he couldn't stand the amount of smoke in the room because everybody's standing there smoking indoors
Oh, yeah.
while they're giving the training.
They do that in Polk County?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Can't do it.
Mm-mm.
So Dash is 8 months old. Dash is a 2-fingered sloth. So alive in the world today, there are 2-fingered sloths and 3-fingered sloths. They all have 3 toes on the back feet. 2-fingered have 2 on the front. 3-fingered have 3 on the front. So they are different animals. They're very similar but different animals. The 3-fingered sloth is the kind that has a mask and their face is like flat. The 2-fingered, his face is a little bit more like a dog or something. He has more of a snout. And the 2-fingered is more built like a truck, and the 3-fingered is more built like a sports car. So the 2-fingered sloth has 46 ribs. So he can keep himself safe from a great many things. And he has connective tissue that goes all between his ribs and his organs. So whether he's hanging upside down vertically or upside down horizontally or right side up or laying on his side or his belly or his back or whatever, his organs all remain position and orientation where they should be because all that connective tissue goes back and forth. If you saw the skeleton of a 2-fingered sloth, you would be thinking that this was an apex predator because they are absolutely built to take it. So the 3-fingered sloth looks like this, that it has a very long neck and it has a tail and then it has knots in the middle. The 2-fingered sloth is more like a big, huge, giant teeth. He's got huge claws. He's got legs long, arms longer than his whole body, legs longer than his arms, and he has no tail. So he's got all of these ribs and the other one doesn't. So this guy is far more built to take it. But he's not a predator, he is a prey type animal. So he will spend his whole life in the rainforest hiding from predators, hoping nothing catches him.
So I know they like to hang most of their time. Do they ever not hang? Like,
Yeah, or sleep in hammocks.
Okay.
And sit in laps and snuggle with people.
Do you miss he looks backwards?
He does. He turns his head upside down and looks at people a lot. So if you listen very closely when he opens and closes his mouth, you hear a little. It's because their teeth have no enamel on them. And you know, rodents, their 2 buck teeth are what grow for all their life, and they sharpen their teeth on wood and stuff like that. The sloth's fang teeth grow for all of its life. And while he opens and closes his mouth, his teeth sharpen against each other. Because he's going to live 20 years in the rainforest and he doesn't have a toothbrush. So he needs a way for his teeth to stay big and strong and sharp and not have cavities.
He's soft.
He's softer than you might imagine. You ever seen a sloth anywhere else?
The zoo.
Yeah?
Not that close, huh? Yeah, this is really cool. Somebody at work
Ready
was
to have a
telling me about
turn?
it.
You want to have a turn? The mayor of Collegedale was here back in November. She was like taking a little hideout break from the campaign.
Yeah.
There you go.
Somebody at work was talking about it. I was like, I had no idea this existed because my husband, like, he used to kayak down the Kobe all the time. We do the Hawaii a lot. And, but, like, we had never heard of this place. So she's like, it's really cool.
Yeah, the Kobe River's right there,
Yeah.
backyard. We have the covered wagons that are sitting right along the Ocoee River.
Oh, for like people
And-
like camper stay in.
Mhm,
Yeah.
But they're bougie. They all heat from 5 degrees, cool from 105.
Oh wow.
King size bed,
Yeah.
10-inch memory foam mattress,
Oh,
set of
wow,
bunks, Keurig, microwave, mini fridge. They'll have their own picnic area, their own fire pit. They're really nice.
So I know like their vision's not very good, right?
It's horrible.
So do
So
they see
their
like
eyes-
just shadows or?
Their eyes have a structure called rod monochromacy, meaning all rod cells, no cone cells, so they see in grayscale all of the time. Their eyes are designed to pick up motion very well, but they can't see objects. So he can't see the difference between me and you. He can see the difference in size between me and them, but he couldn't see the difference at all between me and you. But if you've ever seen a movie where the military guys are running around with night vision goggles on and they see a bunch of moving blobs,
Yeah.
that's what a sloth sees. So if a sloth is up in the trees, he's safe from predators if he can get out to the end of the branch. So if anything that's coming toward a sloth is bad news for a sloth. So when he sees motion, it's end of the branch, get out to the end of the branch. And he only weighs 15 pounds. He'll get out to the end of the branch and he'll be like boing on down. And then this cat is trying to walk along the top of the branch to get to him. Cats can't hang upside down like a sloth. And he just can't get there to where the sloth is. So his eyes are really great for his purpose, but you know, he sure wouldn't pass any vision tests. Since his eyesight though is horrible, his sense of smell and his sense of hearing are absolutely fantastic. What does Jax have? Oh, yeah, that's she looks a lot better. Don't let her. Oh, she'll get a turn. You guys still have a good while.
My main thing was for you girls to get to do it.
Do you have your watch on upside down? Does that light up? No, that's cool. It looks like it's the backside of the watch, doesn't it? It's an interesting screensaver. You want a snack, baby Dash? Let me see if he wants to eat a leaf. Just give it to him like that.
Is that all they eat mainly, or like leaves from the trees?
They eat about a pound of leaves every day. I'm gonna take that bowl and give him one at a time. Eat about a pound of leaves. Well, he's only 4 pounds. He doesn't eat a pound of leaves. But the adults, a sloth eats about 10% of their body mass every single day. They only go to the bathroom 3 or 4 times a month, once in a week or 10 days. And when they do, they are going to eliminate 1/3 of their total body mass when they go. So putting those numbers to human perspective, I weigh 180 pounds. So that's me eating 18 16-ounce porterhouse steaks every day.
Hey, wow.
Or maybe 70 or 80 quarter pounders with cheese every day. So if I was a sloth, that would mean starting from my natural body weight of 180, I would eat 18 pounds and 18 pounds and 18 pounds and 18 pounds and 18 pounds until my body, and I'm metabolizing a great deal of that food. When I eventually if they eventually eliminate after eating 10% of their body weight every day for 10 days, they have consumed 100% of their body weight since they last went. They do metabolize the vast majority of that, but still they're going to eliminate 1/3. So that means I'd get all the way up to about 240 and then boom, straight back to 180 in 2 or 3 minutes.
Wow.
And so they have a really unusual way. When they're in the tops of the trees, they're entirely safe from predators, with the exception of eagles. And yet they come all the way down the tree, same side of the tree every single time to use the bathroom. And when they do come down the tree, the purpose in it is that they have moths that live all in their fur. In the wild, an adult sloth will have between 100 and 150 moths living in its fur all of the time. When it comes down the tree, the moths all fly down off of the sloth into the waste pile, lay their eggs right back to the sloth. Because he's only going to be down for 2 or 3 minutes, and they don't want to miss the 100-foot ride back to the canopy of the rainforest. So it is a symbiotic relationship, meaning beneficial to both. So the benefit to the moth is that the sloth is the food source and the living environment of the moths. The benefit to the sloth is that as the moth eats the moss and algae that are all in the sloth's fur, it is fertilizing the moss and algae via its waste, and that's more camouflage for the sloth. Second benefit is as the sloth grooms himself, he licks up a certain amount of the moths themselves. That is his protein source. Third, as he grooms himself, he licks up a certain amount of the waste of the moths, and the waste of the moths is where the sloth gets his bacteria from that digests his food. Now, in captivity, they don't need the moths because in captivity, one, nothing is hunting him, he doesn't need camouflage. Two, they get hard-boiled eggs, so they don't need the protein. Three, we also have helpful gut bacteria. Our gut bacteria will last throughout our lives without a second thought, unless we take a lot of antibiotics. If we take antibiotics, that'll kill off our gut bacteria colony, and we'll need probiotics or Greek yogurt to boost our gut bacteria back up. The sloth, what interrupts his gut bacteria colony is cold temperature. If the sloth gets cold, it will kill his gut bacteria. He can't get to GNC. He's never heard of Publix. He's not getting probiotics or Greek yogurt. So the waste of the moths is how he replenishes his gut bacteria colony. In the wild, if the sloth's moth colony dies out, the sloth will die too. Because not for lack of, it'll die of starvation 30 days later, not for lack of food, but for lack of ability to digest the food. So he'll die of starvation when his stomach's all the way full.
How long have y'all been here?
I moved here 6 years ago. We started doing Airbnb 4 years ago, and we started with the exotics 3 years ago. Really involved it.
Yeah.
Really amped it up 2 years ago when I built this building. And we just opened to non-lodging guests in 24.
Oh, wow.
So that's part of why nobody used to know we were here, is we weren't open to anyone who wasn't staying here. You had to be staying on the farm to do the things that we do. But now that, I don't know how much you looked at our website, but now, well, you obviously looked enough to know there's baby kangaroos too. So now we do, you know, sloths and baby sloths and kangaroos and baby kangaroos. And you can bottle feed baby camels and goats and llamas and alpacas.
Yeah.
You can do farm tours where you see 40 breeds of animals that are all like this, up close, see them, touch them, pet them, hold them. And that's why we don't rebrand as a zoo, even though we have as many animals as many zoos do. Is that at a zoo, there's an animal out there somewhere, maybe you'll see it.
Yeah.
Here, every animal here, a couple of exceptions, or see them, touch them, pet them, hold them.
Yeah.
And and we don't have crowds of people here either.
Yeah.
The most people we have here at once is during a farm tour, there can be 20, but that's it. And so when you're on a guided tour with 20 people, that's still a pretty intimate group.
Mm-hmm.
And so every person gets to see, touch, pet, hold the animals. And we start saying summer starts next week.
Mm-hmm.
And starting next week, there'll be 3 farm tours a day. So you can come at 10:30 in the morning, 2:30 in the afternoon, or 4:30 in the afternoon. You do still have to book it in advance, but if you're trying to bring all the little girls in the neighborhood to farm tours, your groove.
That's the best place to do, or the best thing to do.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What made you get into the exotic animals, or like knowing how to take care of all of them and all of that?
We love the Lord, we love people, and we love animals. And
I got one of the 4-wheelers loaded down the trailer. You want me to go ahead and take it to Andrew?
oh yeah, strap it down so it doesn't roll all around.
It's on a brake.
It'll still roll if you don't strap it.
Okay.
So just strap it to the front bar of the trailer.
Yeah.
Did you load it by yourself?
Found help me.
Yeah, which one did you load?
The first red one right here.
Yeah. You gonna come back and get the green one after that?
Yeah, well, there's not enough room for two. It's a small
Yeah, you
trailer.
can't take them both.
Yeah.
That's great.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
The straps where?
There's one laying there where we pulled the hay out yesterday, one of the big black ones.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. I had them pick up right there, so it's probably sitting right inside of where the hay is on the left.
Okay. Is Andrew home?
I don't know, but if not, you can just roll it off and leave it there. So, the goals of the business are glorify Jesus Christ in everything we do and say, make a quiet place for people to make memories with their own family and friends, take exceptional care of animals. And we like people to be able to do things that they can't do other places and see things they can't see other places. And also specific to sloths, most sloth encounters, it's about the love of money, not about the love of sloths. And when you see a sloth that's booked for 8 and 10 hours a day, those sloths' average lifespan is about 2 months.
Wow.
And appropriately cared for sloths like this, their lifespan is about 50 years.
Wow. That's gonna be my next
So,
question. How long they?
In the wild, they think they live about 20 years, but it's a theory. Nobody's ever observed one from birth to geriatrics.
Yeah.
And they're prey animals, so they don't generally reach geriatrics. But a captive bred, not captured, but captive bred sloth that is appropriately cared for. The Smithsonian have them, those 49. There's 2 in Germany that are 53 and 54. There's one in China that's reputed to be much, much older than that, but you know, it's China, who knows.
Yeah.
But both of the breeders that I deal with have female sloths that are over 35 and still reproductive. So if, and no one can tell you for sure if it's true of a sloth, but if it's true of a sloth, like most large mammals, that females don't reproduce in the last half to third of their life, that would mean those sloths get to live a very long
It's
time.
like 60 at least.
Yeah, something like that. So, so we really want to share the exotics with the world in a more ethical and appropriate way than, in my personal opinion, most places do. And so this is our solution to that. And I get to talk to a lot of people that know nothing about the Lord, that would not darken the door of a church, but would talk to me. And so that's what I care about even more than I care about animals, is, you know, sharing the love of Jesus Christ with everybody. And some people love it, some people hate it. It's not my job to have any opinion what their outcome is.
Yeah.
I planted, Apollos watered, but it's God who gives the growth or it doesn't.
True. Yeah.
So I just do my little
Planting the
part.
seeds.
Yep. And we get a lot of people that are like, I can't believe they evolved this way. And I'm like, of course they didn't. How could you think that?
Yeah.
Just because you're brainwashed.
Yeah.
Well, let's let Mom have a turn. All right, baby Dash. Gotta let go, buddy.
And then I was reading another one. I guess y'all have an older one that
He's right behind
they
you.
don't get to hold because I guess he's never been held or never.
No, he was never oriented to people from birth. I am that sloth person. He's been here 4 years. He's asleep in his hammock right now, 25
Is it a
feet
boy
up
or a
there.
girl?
He's a boy.
Boy.
But he was not oriented to people from birth. I am his person. I think in the last 4 years I've missed 20 days of being one-on-one with him for an hour or more.
Yeah.
And I have never held that sloth
Okay.
because it's not natural to him. He rubs his face against my face. He takes his hands and rubs them all through my hair like this. And he rubs shoulder to shoulder with me. But he's never made any move to move on to my body. And it's his choice. So I've never held him.
Yeah.
And neither has anyone else.
And then, did y'all get him from like another facility or place?
I got him from a breeder that breeds strictly for zoos.
Zeus, okay.
The guy who breeds these babies is breeding ambassador animals. He is a doctor of veterinary medicine who's been in sloth conservation from a breeding standpoint for more than 30 years.
Oh, wow.
And his generation 0 is animals that couldn't be returned to the rainforest. None of his animals have ever been stolen from the rainforest. And they can't even be considered for ambassador program like this unless they're at least 5 generations removed from the rainforest. And most of these are more like 10, 11, 12 generations removed from the rainforest. So generationally, they are further removed from the rainforest than I am from the American Revolution. And so if you have a pet cat that is the child of a pet cat, it will sit in your lap and purr while you pet it. If you took a feral cat from the woods and hold that in your lap, it will not go well for you, it will not go well for the cat. And similarly, if you have a sloth that was taken from the rainforest, it is not going to sit with you.
I don't know. Is that normal? Like, I don't want him to bite me because you're
Yeah,
saying
he's
earlier.
normal.
Okay.
Okay.
Like he's snuggling in. I'm like, is he gonna
Mhm.
bite me? Oh, he's snuggling in. Can you take a picture of him?
He's very snuggling. You don't have to stay in the chair wherever you get the best picture.
She take pictures of herself? No, I wasn't. See?
Yeah, the chair's for you to be comfortable, not trapped.
You doing selfies of yourself?
It's your career with kids?
Yeah, so I'm a nurse.
That's awesome. Oh, okay, what do you do?
So I worked at Erlanger, the adult ER, for 10 years. And then when she started kindergarten, I was trying to find something with better hours because my husband's a firefighter, so he does 24s. And then we did 12s, so we had to do like mandatory overtime on call. So by the time it's said and done, we're doing 4 to 5 12s a week. So then right before she started kindergarten, I transferred to children's outpatient surgery. So I do that now, getting kiddos ready for surgery, getting them back until they're awake and drinking and ready to go home. So we do pre and post-op.
That's good. Two of my daughters are nurses. One is pediatric oncology, but she can't work right now because her husband is in Air Force and they're in Italy.
Oh, wow.
And then my other one has been in trauma for 6 years, and she's in med school right now. But nursing's a great field. They both have been working at University of Oklahoma, and out there they are trying to stop paying travel nurses. So they're paying all of their nurses just ridiculously well.
Oh, that's good.
So I want to say that my one daughter that's still there, I think that her base is like 48,
Oh, wow.
and then 6 for shift differential and 6 for weekend differential.
Yeah.
And
So
she
usually it's
works.
just a couple of bucks.
She works 2 12s on the weekend, gets paid for 40, and then if she works any other days, it's double time the whole time.
That's crazy.
So that
I
was
wish I
how
did
she was
that.
able to bankroll all of the money for her med school while working as a nurse. So they smell, they don't see, so you gotta hold it still for a minute. Looks like he doesn't really want it though.
Yeah, I know when I worked in the adult ER, like they made us do mandatory overtime and they made us do on-call and you got called in every on-call shift. But they didn't offer us anymore, it was just like forced. I'm like, how can you force somebody to work extra when you have kids and stuff? And they're like, Tennessee's a right to work state, so if you don't like it, you can go somewhere else and work.
Yeah.
Basically, like, but they didn't pay us any extra or any more. Unless, like, we got over our 40 hours and then we get overtime pay, but we didn't get any shift diffs or anything like that when I was down there. I don't know if they're doing that now, because I've been out almost 6 years
Right.
since I've been in the ER, but when I was there, they did not offer us anything special.
Mine was